All right, we live. Damn, y'all don't see them scars on our backs? Left by whips, bullet holes, and stab wounds. It's like we got the whole world on our shoulders. But watch how we carry it.
Get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it?
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 Can a black man
What up, brother
make it?
Rozzy?
Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it? Right. I got a family to feed. Still hungry, so you feeling like you underachieved. I'm a god on my feet, I never bend at the knees. I stand tall, break bread with my kings. It's the knowledge we bring. Born leaders, we acquiring goals, acquiring land. Until the day we lie in that hole, I own your plans. Don't let them take that fire out your soul. Fuck these niggas, go get what you owe. You know these streets can get cold. A wise man said you reap what you sow. I'm sowing them seeds to make sure my family succeed. From the bottom where it's trifling, and niggas wanna fight with it, and crackers try to stifle it, but still I'm on enlightenment. Now watch I sneak my rifle in. Malcolm in the windowsill, shit get real. All I know is different day, bigger bills. They don't wanna see you shine. Fuck them though, I'm getting mine. Posted at the motherfucking finish line. Bitch, get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it?
Damn, can a black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it?
Can a black man make it, nigga? I ain't got a choice. I've been winning for a minute, now it's time I use my voice. We've been down in every way, but we still had to lead. Our families that try to keep the world up the speed of the fuckery that brings generations of disease.
Shout out to Fatty Black. I don't miss, bro.
So I stand through it all, 'cause
I don't miss. This ain't Bomani. This is my guy, OG Black. Hold on 1 second. Let me start this over real quick, because this is my shit. Hold on 1 second. This me on the intro, by the way. Damn, y'all don't see them scars on our backs? Left by whips, bullet holes, and stab wounds. It's like we got the whole world on our shoulders. But watch how we carry it.
Get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it? Right. I got a family to feed. Still hungry, so you feeling like you underachieved. I'm a god on my feet, I never bend at the knees. I stand tall, break bread with my kings. It's the knowledge we bring. Born leaders, we acquiring goals, acquiring land. Until the day we lie in that hole, I own your plans. Don't let them take that fire out your soul. Fuck these niggas, go get what you owe. You know these streets can get cold. A wise man said you reap what you sow. I'm sowing them seeds to make sure my family succeed. From the bottom where it's trifling, and niggas wanna fight with it, and crackers try to stifle it, but still I'm on enlightenment. Now watch I sneak my rifle in. Malcolm in the windowsill, shit get real. All I know is different day, bigger bills. They don't wanna see you shine. Fuck them though, I'm getting mine. Posted at the motherfucking finish line. Bitch, get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it?
Can a black man make it, nigga? I ain't got a choice. I've been winning for a minute, now it's time I use my voice. We've been down in every way, but we still had to lead. Our families that try to keep the world up the speed of the fuckery that brings generations of disease. Depression and the spilling of the same blood I bleed. Try to tighten up the chains and tell me that I was free. So I stand through it all, 'cause I do this for my seeds. Yeah, that system top notch to trap us in this box, but the evolution of the black man can't be stopped. Check your time watch, we rise again and again to battle every demon so our kids don't reap the sin, and find a peace of mind to keep our ass about the pen, to go to sleep so we can wake up and do it again. Resilience is the key to shit is deeper than a check. We won 100 times, say our name with respect, nigga.
Get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn,
Can a black man make it? This my shit, y'all. Oh shit. We official, y'all. I just got my first motherfucking super chat. The OG Black Go Hard. This OG Black Go Hard, and shout out to Mertz, Son on the Future. Yo, shout out to you, Slam Bradley. Appreciate you showing me love. As y'all see, we now got the super chats popping, family. The channel is growing. We doing what we supposed to do over here. We getting it done. Hold on real quick. I'm out of pocket. I show some love to the family as y'all pull up. My guy Fatty Black, shout out to you. My guy Confidence, shout out to you. Brother Rozzy, what's good, fam? Who else we got in here? I don't know who Blood Honey is, but shout out to you. Let me go ahead and read your comment because that joint was up even before the stream started. Black women arguing that black people are genetically predisposed to degeneracy. I sound crazy. It's like y'all ever seen Harlem Nights? Y'all know the scene I'm talking about, right? Yeah, that's how I sound right now. But anyway, yeah. It says black women arguing that black people are genetically predisposed to degeneracy. Sounds familiar. It certainly does. Yo, I just got another super chat. Hey, Sister AY. It's all love. Listen, y'all. Tonight we're gonna be doing a lot of listening. We're gonna do some building together. This is a very special Omowale After Dark. We're dealing with a sensitive topic, and what I want to do is at the end of the show. Tonight, or when we open up the lines in the second hour, I really want to make space for sisters to come up and kind of like weigh in on this topic because it's an important topic. Last week when we did Omowale After Dark, we dealt with another topic of some note or seriousness with the situation with the dude Glendon Cameron, the R. Kelly of YouTube. And the folks who were running around kind of like defending his position. So what I did tonight is I really did take a lot of time to pull together a lot of information for you all. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to start. Shout out Brother Kev. Brother Kev put Tonya TKO did not want to play ball with regards to aborting black male babies. Yeah, absolutely. This is a difficult conversation because, while I am appreciative of the fact that kind of like Tonya TKO had a moment of clarity and backed away from the insanity that's being promoted by Nala Says and what's the other chick name? Cynthia G. We can't ignore the fact that, over these past few months, I don't know how long, but Tonya TKO has been a menace to society. She's been, on the train, producing lots of content that's aimed at pathologizing black men and putting a target on our back and making an argument that our lives have no value based upon the things that they were putting forth. And I think that this is the danger, when people start to create content to pathologize certain segments of the community. So, it's going to be a good convo tonight. Like I said, we just got started at about 9:30, 9:35. So I'm going to get through this content that I have over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get I'm going to let my clip off or whatever. And then what I'm going to do in the second hour is I'm going to open up the lines. If there are any sisters out there, and I'm giving preference to sisters for this particular conversation. Brothers, y'all welcome to join as well, but I really do want to hear from the sisters. So before we get started, y'all go ahead and do what y'all need to do. That's hit the like button, share. If you're not subscribed, if this is your first time here, please do subscribe to the channel. But please, family, y'all go ahead and share this out so folks know that we in the building and we about to be cooking tonight. So y'all gotta pardon my voice. Y'all know I got over the flu, but we're gonna get through it. I got a little bit of Japanese whiskey to help cleanse my palate. So hold on one second. Brother Chimoge, what's up, my guy? What's good with you? Brother Chimoge says, even for the divestors, I can't believe this aborting black male babies thing is even a combo. It says a lot about our community that we have a noticeable minority that supports them. This is all very interesting. And we're going to get into it. What I want to do to start, I'm going to be doing a lot of sharing tonight. So let me just go ahead and share my screen. Make sure that y'all can see a brother's screen. All right. So the first thing that I think I need to say is that y'all know we usually do Race, Manhood, and Power every Monday at 8:30. This weekend we were feeling pretty generous, so we gave y'all episode 8 this morning. If you haven't checked out episode 8 was the political unicism of divested politics. That's on the page right now. Do me a favor, make sure you check it out before tomorrow's episode 9. Right, episode 9 is going to air at the normal time, so it'll be tomorrow at 8:30. But that aired today. What else do I got to share with y'all? On Tuesday, so Monday, we're gonna have our normal kind of like Race, Manhood, and Power. Hold on one second, sister AY cracking jokes in the chat. You disrupting the class, sis. Come on. The flu, the whites said they're ready. Yeah, right. The whites. Hold on.
Imagine being a fucking loser.
Shout out to Anissa. What's I don't even know what I got on my soundboard over here because my daughter that messed up my.
Talk your shit, Professor Omowale.
I think I might.
Talk your shit, Professor Omowale.
I might use that a few times tonight.
Talk your shit, Professor Omowale.
Hold on, what else is on my soundboard?
So he want to come in here and redefine manhood, which is bullshit. But whatever.
Y'all don't mind me. I'm just trying to see. I'm trying to see what we got to work with tonight.
Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you.
Okay, this might get.
You bitches easy to beat because you stupid.
Hold on.
You bitches easy to beat because you stupid.
I don't know. We might. All right. I just wanted to see what we had on the board to work with tonight, y'all. But we got some good stuff to work with. But like I was saying, tomorrow is just our standard. I don't even want to call it standard. It's another Manhood Monday. So y'all know how it go. At 8:30, we got the Race, Manhood, and Power podcast. Immediately following that, we have the live office hours of Professor Omowale. So y'all definitely want to pull up for that. Tomorrow's episode is going to be super duper duper dope. It's the third installment in the Souls of Black Folks. So if you didn't see installment 2, we released it this morning at about 10 o'clock. Installment 2 was the political unicism of divested politics. So installment 3, which is going to drop tomorrow at 8:30, is Black men and the negative impacts of low racial self-esteem. So y'all certainly will not want to miss that particular combo. I did an interview. I was on a panel about a week ago on Grapevine TV, and we were having a discussion about what was happening with our brothers and sisters down at the border from Haiti. So that interview, I think, actually airs tomorrow, but unfortunately, we won't be watching it at the time that they air it because it's at the same time as my show. But I will share it with y'all. I'll put it on my community page. So at some time during the week, definitely go check it out. Let me know what you think. I was the only one on the panel, except for the moderator, Donovan. Donovan's, I think he's an African by way of Jamaica. I'm African by way of America. But all the other Africans that were on the panel were from Haiti. They were of Haitian descent. So I think it was like a panel of like 8 or 9 of us. So, given, I definitely wanted to give some deference to our brothers and sisters from Haiti on that particular panel. So I did speak, but I did a lot more listening than I did speaking. Shout out to you, fam. Brother Noble War Prize says, glad to be here tonight. I have a couple hours before my bedtime. Yeah, we're gonna get it in tonight. We're gonna do some cooking tonight. This talking point is not new. All right, listen. I'm not going to be paying attention to the chat. Y'all show some love to Slam Bradley. He's editing in the background right now, so he's not going to be able to be here tonight with us, doing the producing. But I am here. I do see y'all comments. I'll try to engage with them as I can, but I really want to get through this material, right? So gave y'all the first update. Tomorrow is another Manhood Monday. Pull up. We released an episode, just out of generosity this morning at 10 a.m. And that was episode 8. So y'all get episode 9 tomorrow. On Tuesday, I will be on Shay Charday. There's a sister, a Black content creator who's doing amazing work. Very professional. Reached out to me and wanted to interview me. And she titled the interview An Honest Critique of the Black Manosphere. So I'll be on her channel on Tuesday, and I believe this is Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So y'all definitely, come pull up and support me on that. I posted this on my community page, so y'all can check that out. On Wednesday, now for this, you have to actually go to the Eventbrite page to get access to the private link. But I'll be speaking on a virtual panel called Think Beyond Black. I'll be joined by Brother Q Butter, Dr. Ma'at, and Sister Afia Hill. And the folks over at Tahuti Ma'at are the ones who kind of like put this together. So I'll be speaking on that panel. And here's the Eventbrite link for y'all if y'all want to check that out. So please do check that out. Go ahead and support that. I'm actually really looking forward to that. So let me get started. Let me jump into this conversation tonight, right? So y'all know we've been having this conversation about both female and male expressions of red pill rage on this channel. If you've been following me from Twitter, you know that I've been speaking on this issue on Twitter for quite some time. I've done a lot of battle on Twitter with the Black feminists who really are the ones who originated a lot of these anti-Black misandrist talking points. And, I've definitely kind of like cut my knuckles, you know what I mean, on Twitter, doing battle over there. Cause I want to say for like the last probably 4 years, Black men were really afraid to speak on Twitter. They were afraid to kind of like to push back. So in many ways, like I was one of those guys who became like the neighborhood hero, because not only would I, tweet back and respond to a lot of the ignorance, I would actually write essays and go on panels and like destroy a lot of this nonsense. So this is something that I've been, getting at and chipping away at for quite some time now. Now, YouTube is an entire a different animal. But what I want to do before I even dive into this is, if you're not familiar with me, if you're new here for the first time, I've written about this, right? So have straight Black men become the new face of white guilt? This writing was done back in 2017, and this was, during the time when the chorus of Black men are trash had reached a crescendo on Twitter. You know what I mean? And like all of the teeny boppers, the college students, the well-to-do educated folks were like shitting all over Black men during these days in Twitter. And it definitely was not a good space for you to be as a Black man, especially if you had a weak psyche. Or I don't want to say if you had a weak psyche, but a lot of us are battling with mental illness and challenges. So if you're taking these kind of like these ideas into your mind on a regular basis where people are shitting on you and people are devaluing your humanity, it could definitely have a negative impact. But if you haven't checked out any of these essays, I would certainly encourage you to go do so. These are just some tweets right from 2017. Like I said, I've been going at these folks for a minute. I don't even know if this chick is still even on Twitter, but she referred to herself as the misandrist plague, right? So the anti-Black misandry was heavy on Twitter during this period of time, but she was very excited for the wins that they were claiming against the Black male psyche. They were very happy to see Black men suffering. So here's one of the tweets. The sister, I don't even want to call her a sister because she's not, really sisterly at all. But she writes, Black feminist discourse spreading like wildfire in the information age has the oppressors shook, all the oppressors, Black men included, right? So that was back in 2017. There's another joint up here where of course, you know, the men are trash. Oh, you hurt the little boys in your mentions. How do these fragile male tears taste? You know what I mean? So this has been you know, this thing has been ongoing for some time now. You know what I mean? And then you got the black male feminists, the worst in the world, you know what I mean, bullying women online and calling women pick-me's and shit like that. Like this, you know, Twitter was the wild west during these days. And I'm just showing you all this just to give y'all the kind of like the historical record of this kind of stuff that's been happening in these spaces even before we get to YouTube. Here's another one. This is an essay that I wrote. I don't even know when I wrote it, but this chick right here is an extreme radical black feminist, also LGBTQ, and she writes here, women who date and love men will always be the weakest link in feminism, right? So this notion that if you love men or you side with men, you are an enemy, or as the, you know, the chicks on YouTube now, right, they call black women who support black men mammies. You know, if you're a black woman who love your black son or your black husband or your black father, or you don't want to adhere to or subscribe to some of this violent language that is being used to dehumanize whole segments and collectives and our population, then you'll be called a mammy. You'll be called a pick-me. Like I said on the show we put out this morning, right? The shit has gotten so weird that within this particular discourse, on one side, right, in the manosphere, you got dudes over there who refer to Malcolm X as a simp. And then in the woman's sphere, you got chicks over there who refer to Asada Shakur as a mammy. So it's like these people's minds are clearly twisted. And the thing that is different, and we're going to get into this because we're going to parse it out as we go through the night. But the thing that's very different about the Twitter folks and the YouTube folks that are putting out this kind of like dangerous propaganda is the Twitter folks. I mean, those are really babies. Like they're, you know, teeny boppers, you know, in their 20s and their teens. A lot of them are on the college campus being fed, you know, a healthy or an unhealthy dose, you know, of this ignorance. So they feel justified, you know what I mean, in their, I guess, righteous indignation and hate for black men. Whereas though on YouTube, a lot of these chicks are like well into their 40s or 50s. So it's a very interesting dynamic. I don't know what the level of education is in terms of them being college educated or not, but it is certainly an interesting dynamic. Another article. I wanted to share this because in this article, you know, I remember being in church back in the day when I was a kid, and they used to always say that you know, that Satan comes as an angel of light. You know what I mean? And this was a article that I wrote, and it was on a blue check. It was called "Blue Check Negroes in a Nuclear Family," and I wrote this after a Grapevine TV panel. And I think the panel was called Hoteps and the Gay Agenda. And I just felt like the folks who were on that panel were going out of their way to gaslight black men or black people who felt as though, you know, there was an agenda to destroy our family or to depopulate, you know, our community and all of this stuff. Right. So like they were really, you know, just calling people conspiracy theorists and saying, you know, y'all don't know what y'all talking about and all that type of stuff. So as I do, you know, I, you know, picked up the pen and the pad and I wrote. And one of the things that I reference here is an article that's written by Margaret Sanger in 1934. And this article was published in the Crisis magazine. I'll read the excerpt here. And if you don't know who Margaret Sanger is, she's the founder of Planned Parenthood. You know, she's a very well-known eugenicist. I think that she also served on the Rockefeller, the John D. Rockefeller World Population Council as well. But here it is right here. I'll read this quick excerpt. It says, for example, in June of 1934, Margaret Sanger, the famed eugenicist and founder of Planned Parenthood, wrote an article in the Crisis magazine titled "The Case for Birth Control." She concludes the article with an emotional appeal to black women by beckoning them to throw off their chains of oppression. And here's the quote right here. This is the quote. The quote says, "In her ignorance, she brings forth her children and is enslaved as the black race never was enslaved. Where is another Abraham Lincoln to free her?" Right? So, you know, this, like I said, you know, Satan comes as an angel of light, right? Because free her from what? Free her from her children. free her from, being imprisoned by her womb. You know what I mean? And it just so happens that, you liberating a Black woman from the oppression of rearing children or having children just works in your favor because you don't want them to have children anyway, right? I mean, there's a lot of research and history about the attack on the Black woman's womb, all throughout the colonial world, right? Not just here in America, but as of late, there's lots of studies that come out about Black women being overly represented for hysterectomies. And of course, like, yes, Black women do have fibroids at greater instances than other groups of women, and this is why we need our own like doctors to figure out why that is. But nevertheless, what the studies have found is that there are plenty of instances where a Black woman could pursue a procedure that would not have to remove her uterus, or her ability to produce children, but always it is offered as the first and recommended procedure by the medical field here, right? That gets into the whole medical racism. But this thing is real. So when you got, ignorant people online, and I'm talking specifically about Cynthia G, Nala Says, I'm even talking about Tonya TKO, because while I want to give her credit for kind of like jumping off, the ship and saying, "Oh, y'all going a bit too far," she has contributed a lot to pathologizing Black men and putting out negative anti-Black misandrist propaganda that only serves to point a target onto our backs, right? It's a very natural progression to go from Black men are trash to Black men are evil to Black men don't have any purpose for being here to Black men shouldn't be here to we should just kill them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that is a very linear progression and is built on rhetoric that these folks, Tonya TKO, Nala Says, who's the other chick, Cynthia G, they are creating and disseminating this rhetoric very irresponsibly. But we're going to get into why folks do that, right? I have a nice little chart, a nice little illustration that I developed. So we'll get through that tonight. So that's another article. And then again, I always I did the reading of this one on the page already, the Black women going their own way. But on this joint, I had actually pulled out tweets where on Twitter, the folks in that particular movement, and this is before it really even came over to YouTube, but they were arguing, stop birthing Black males, stop birthing your oppressors, stop birthing Black males, stop birthing Black women's oppressors, stop birthing Black males, stop birthing the terrorists of the Black community. And when you listen to, that's a tweet, and y'all can see the tweet right here on the screen, right? I'm not kind of like making this up, but when you listen to, some of the clips that I've pulled out for this discussion tonight for us to go over, you'll hear people say this stuff verbatim. But not only that, like, as a nationalist, I'm someone who listens to what the other side is talking about, right? So I'm very familiar with white nationalist talking points and rhetoric and propaganda that they use to dehumanize us. And to listen to Nyla, to listen to Cynthia, like, I swear to God, they sound like they could be ghostwriters for the American Renaissance Project. I swear to God, like, they sound just like Richard Spencer and the white nationalists that you read and you listen to. Like, there literally is no difference in their rhetoric. And I think that, we're in a very interesting space right now, because if our people are not grounded and you have no idea, I mean, it's like, I don't know how you get washed that far out to sea. One thing that I've put in my writing several times is that our unhealed trauma, right, as a people, our unhealed trauma is the greatest weapon in the hands of our enemies. And that's both internal enemies and external enemies, because people can manipulate and exploit that trauma to radicalize you against your own people, and radicalize you to the point that you will adopt, you will become a political eunuch, meaning you will start to adopt ideologies that ensure you don't reproduce yourself on the planet, right? So let's get to it. So what do I have up? Hold on one second, y'all. I got a lot to share with y'all, so we're going to get through all of this. So how do I want to start here? I think I want to start here, right? So this right here, I actually thought this was funny, because y'all probably seen this joint from excuse me, back in the day. This is Don't Be a Menace to Society While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. And there's a scene in this particular movie that I'm pretty sure, I mean, I'm aging myself with this as it is. But there's a scene in this particular movie where there's this character, right? This whole movie is like a caricature. It's anti-black at its core. It's nothing but stereotypes and caricature of black men. But there's a scene in this joint where there's a felon who was recently released from prison, and they're like at like a cookout, and he starts to like, you know, give like an impassioned speech, right? Speech. And like everybody is like cheering him on until like he gets to like the end of the speech, and they're like, whoa, you kind of like went too far. And that's what I thought about when this situation happened with Tonya TKO, because she pretty much was certainly on the bandwagon. She certainly was cheering. You know, she was throwing the tomatoes. She was doing everything. Every time Cynthia said something, she was cheering it on. She was adding to it. She was building onto it. Up until Cynthia got to the point was like, let's kill all these black niggers. And she's like, whoa. I mean, she didn't say that. I'm being, basically she said, let's kill all unborn black male children, right? If you are pregnant as a black woman, you know, her preference is that you don't even choose to mate with a black man. But should you be pregnant as a black woman and you find out that it's a male child, then abort the child. Do not birth your terrorists, right? And we're going to get into all of this shit because, you know, what's so crazy is her thesis is that black men are essentially corrupted from birth, like from the womb. Like there is no redemption. You know what I mean? Like it isn't, you know, she says it's your nature. You know, it's not even the environment. You know how people say nature versus nurture? She's saying from the womb, you are defective, you are evil, and you should not be given life on this planet, right? This is the argument that she's making. But again, remember, I keep telling y'all that unhealed trauma is real. And I don't know this chick, Cynthia G, but just hearing her speak, she is filled with hate. I don't know what her source of trauma is. I don't know what her personal experiences are. I do know that she is a woman well into her 40s and that she is looking to influence young women in their teens and their 20s to embrace the level of misery that she has embraced. Because as they always say, misery loves company. But let me go ahead and play this because I feel like Tonya TKO was kind of like in this crowd right here until they got to the end of the joint. And she was like, whoa, y'all going too far. Hold on, here it is right here.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just saying, why go back to jail, you know? Oh, man, I ain't worried about jail, man. What you sound like a bitch. Bitch? Man, I ain't worried about jail. Shit, man, I don't give a damn about going to jail. Nigga, take me to jail.
Take me to jail?
Shit, lock me up.
Lock me up?
Throw away the key.
Throw away the key?
I ain't afraid to fuck somebody in his ass.
Hey, whoa.
This fool is tripping.
Pause. She said, "This fool is tripping." Now, then that's literally what happened with this Tonya TKO shit, right? Because you know, they was all, you know, take me to jail, yeah, right. She was all on it, and Cynthia was like, "And let's kill these goddamn black boys." And she's like, "Whoa, this chick is out of her fucking mind. She is tripping, right?" So let's get into it, right? I want to start. Because I love y'all, man. I really do. So I want to educate here as best as I can. Hold on. Let me hide this part. Hold on. I'm trying to get this right. Y'all bear with me 1 second, y'all. Bear with me 1 second because I need to hide this joint. No, I don't want to swap. I just want to not have this part up. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying over here. All right, they hating on me. Nah, that's not what I wanted to do. There's a way that I can bring this joint down over here, and that's what I'm trying to do. But they messing with me. Trying to figure. I forgot how to do it. Hold on. All right. Boom. There it is. That's the victory right here. So, all right. Somebody said, I have never met a real one from Seattle. Yeah, she's definitely a bona fide weirdo. Like, and I don't know if all black people in Seattle talk like that, but I listened to a panel where Cynthia G's sister was on the panel, and she literally sounds just like Cynthia G. Like, so the shit is kind of like disgusting a little bit, but that kind of like is what it is. Somebody said even her sister that has mixed children that came back to the dark side was telling Cynthia that it's not wise to divest from black men. I didn't know about that sister. I know that she had a sister on the line with her the other day who apparently is in a relationship with a white man. But yeah, Cynthia G, like I don't know what's going on in this chick's head. Like, she's not well though. I'll tell you that much. She's not well. But let's deal with this real quick. So what I put right here, y'all, because I kind of like wanted to be in teacher mode tonight, right? So this is my little version of a kind of like a modified bell curve, right? Because I gave this analysis to y'all before, but when I was giving the analysis, I didn't have anything to kind of like illustrate the point that I was trying to make, right? So if we use this modified bell curve, right? On the left-hand side, right? The bell curve represents the sphere, right? Woman's sphere, manosphere, right? So on the right-hand side, that's the manosphere. And then on the left-hand side, you got the woman's sphere, right? So at the top, right? The green ball, right? On top of the square, right? That green ball represents the content creation space for content creators who are looking to be fair, balanced, truthful, who are looking to uplift and build their community or empower their community collectively. Now, the challenge with that space is that you're not going to get a lot of growth, right? People always tell you negativity sells, right? Negativity grows. That's what's going to get you the audience. That's what's going to get you the views. So being in that space is not a space that's going to get you kind of like hyper growth. You're not going to have explosive growth in this particular space, right? So some people, when they come to this space, you know what I mean? Because, they're chasing the algorithm. And then, like I said, some people already have a lot of like bitterness. What happens is, the further you go down the curve, right, the easier it is to grow an audience, right? So if you look here at where the orange circles are at, right, the orange circles represents, okay, you're getting into niche content creating. You're kind of like establishing a market that kind of like, or an audience, right? Pardon for going back and forth between business lingo, but you're kind of like establishing, hold on. I got to read the super chat. I'm getting super chats, y'all. This is love. So is it only black women that turn into race traders as a result of experiencing trauma? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know if you got a chance to see the opening to the opening intro. I did a live on the souls of black folk, and that entire thing was about the profile of the black male race trader. So no, absolutely not. It is not only black women who turn into race traders and start to adopt and promote these suicidal and genocidal politics, right? But I appreciate that question. All right, so let me get back to my little demonstration here, right? I should have put on my glass. I said I wasn't going to be in teacher mode tonight, right? Because I said this might turn into a rant. I might give y'all a spirited rant. I might start preaching. I really don't know, but either way. So the orange circles, what you see here on the curve is like, okay, you're establishing a niche market. Like, people come to you for a certain type of content, whatever it is, and I feel like that orange is where Tonya TKO was, right? She was a wellness, and level up, and I want women to live their best life, and I want you to be mentally and physically and spiritually developed and be like your best self, right? So she was in that niche space. But as you can see, the danger with that orange, where that orange ball lies, is that it's a slippery slope. And like, once you kind of like get out of bounds and you come over here to where this red ball lies right on the side, the red ball is where, that's the gravitational pull of the audience. Now, it's interesting because the algorithm and the audience is pulling you there, but that's also where the audience is the most toxic, but that's where you can get the most explosive growth. And my argument is that when I'm examining this particular space, that step on the bell curve, like the flat end of the bell curve, is where some of the most dangerous content presently exists on both the male side and on the female side. So you already know I said that I'm placing my content within the manosphere, right? I'm a black male content creator, and I'm focused on spreading my message to black men who are being influenced negatively by certain types of content that is anti-black and is detrimental to our unity, to our power, to our health, towards everything. So I stand completely against that. I stand against that on the male side. I also stand against it on the female side, right? Because the green ball at the top represents standing on your square. You know what I mean? Don't get off your square, because if you get off your square, you risk going on that slippery slope, and that's not where you want to be. You don't want to be on that slippery slope. So I kind of like wanted to start there. Y'all give me a thumbs up or something if y'all like that. Did y'all like my little analogy? Y'all let me know. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get this trademarked and copywritten just so y'all don't try to steal my joint. All right, let me keep on moving. Hold on 1 second. So hold on. Give me a second. Boom. The chat is moving tonight. Sister AY, thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate that. Family, if y'all are just pulling up, please hit the like button. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be here every Monday for Manhood Mondays. On Sundays, you get Omowale After Dark. We have lots of content. Sometimes you get random lives, but check us out. You can hit the Patreon, all that good stuff. But we here. All right. So let me move to the next joint. Now, I was basically showing the danger of getting off your square, right? And see Tonya, she was on her square, but she's been on YouTube for a very long time. Right. So she kind of came down the curve. She found her niche audience and she grew. She has about 190,000 followers. But over these last few months, she's been the gravitational pull of the audience. Right. The gravitational pull of the audience. My brother, Dr. T.S. Johnson, the gravitational pull of the audience. I've been following T.S. Johnson for a very long time on Twitter. And I always thought that he did good work. He came over here to YouTube. And the minions pulled him down. So now he's using this. I think he's still using his platform for good work. But I think also, and I'm open to this conversation, I'm only bringing this up because this was the topic of episode 8, the one we released today. I think that he's also lending his platform to some people who have ill intentions for our community. And I have a problem with that. You can do what you want with your platform. But if you're going to use your platform to attack our community or attack black nationalism, I'm definitely going to have a problem with that, because I stand up for my community. I'm a black nationalist. That just is what it is, right? You can't kind of like fault me for that. That kind of like is what it is. All right. So I was saying, now Tonya, she started off on her square, kind of like came down the curve, found her niche market, was doing her thing, but she wound up out of bounds over here where the red circles are. And when she got out of bounds, this is the type of content she started to create. Now, right before she kind of like got excommunicated from the Band of Traveling Misandrists, aka the Bottom. I refer to them as the Bottom Dwellers, right? But before she got excommunicated, about a week or two ago, when the Haitian crisis happened, I watched Tonya use her channel to do some very disgusting things. When the Haitian border crisis was happening, she used that incident as an opportunity to shit on black men and to selectively pick certain pictures to draw conclusions that she could feed to her audience. I watched her do some very, very menacing and nasty things with her platform. Right now, like I told you, like once you kind of like find yourself out of bounds in the gravitational pull of the audience and the algorithm, it's hard to get away from it. Now, I'm happy that she kind of like came to her senses. And as you'll see, she's talking about she had an epiphany and she's going to change her content and all of this stuff after being on that genocide panel, after she was on that Nuremberg trial that Cynthia G was running. She's talking about changing her content. But I want you to see here This screenshot of Tonya that I have on the far end of the screen is literally a screenshot from when she's basically creating anti-black male propaganda, focusing on our brothers and sisters from Haiti, specifically shitting on black men. Like, I took offense to that as a black man, right? But if you read the comments, because I always go to the comments, because I want to see, are these real people leaving the comments? Like, what's happening here? But the first comment that I saw in the chat, like, and she had 1,300 people in her chat at the time. Literally, the first comment that I saw in the chat was from, you know, an avatar that has a black girl with glasses on and like Afro puffs. And it says, honestly, black woman, ask yourself, is it worth giving birth with the seed of a black man? I mean, they have 1 million excuses on why they still depend on white men, generation after generation of dependency, right? So that talk of like not birthing black men had already been prevalent in her mentions, because you start to attract, Tonya, a certain audience when you're putting out certain types of content. So you're putting out this anti-black male propaganda, you're going to attract the misandrists, the women who hate black men. They are going to find a home and a safe haven in your comments. And it might feel good when you go live and you got 2,000 people in there, but when somebody reads the chat and this is what people are writing, we kind of like have an issue. Another thing, this Nala Says chick, I don't really know her. Y'all already know how I feel about people who call themselves pro-black, or people who try to fight white supremacy online. I don't really like respect those type of people, right? So that's no dig at her. But as somebody who's been passively on YouTube, just watching over the last 4 years before I started to take this content creation thing serious, I recall when she first came on, she used to host panels and talk all this pro-black and B1 stuff. And, you know, it is what it is. Like, I guess, you know, it was only skin deep. It didn't really mean nothing, because now what she's doing is she's using her platform. Hold on one second. I just got a super chat. I want to read the super chat here. Sister AY, hold on one second. I appreciate you, Sister AY, for the support. I want to read this. It says, I think a lot of those comments are from bots and not actually black women. You know, Sister AY, that could be correct, right? This is a debate me and my wife have all the time, right? When we're talking about what's happening online, we try to ask the question, is this really reflective of what's happening in our community? Or are these bots? Or are these a hyper visible, a very loud minority of people in our community? And it's hard to tell, because like when you're reading some of the comments, it's like, I mean, and some of these people like go back and forth. Like, a bot can only give you but so much conversation. You know what I mean? Or I don't know, maybe bots are super intelligent or and superhuman like with artificial intelligence, but I don't know if they are that advanced yet. But I won't rule that off the table that some of these comments are bots, but I'm not going to chalk them up to say that they're all bots. And that's on both sides. That's in the manosphere. I won't rule it off the table that some of the stuff that I see in the manosphere comment sections are bots, but some of that stuff, I'm telling you, people are finding a safe haven in the anonymity of being online, and they are getting radicalized in these spaces, right? They're finding somewhere where they can kind of like nurture their resentment and anger and trauma without doing the work to heal it. And now they have someone who they can blame for it and can attack collectively. And that's on both sides, right? The manosphere side, they found a woman. They can blame them. They can attack the gynocracy, right? Blame them for all of the problems. And then on the woman's sphere side, they can blame the men. They can attack them, right? So this doesn't work. And the problem that I have with this, as somebody who I refer to these people as like online archers, right? If you've ever seen like an old military movie, right? My wife will tell you I watch nothing but like war movies. Like, that's just who I am. Like, I'm kind of like infatuated with war. But in a lot of old war movies, right? Let's say if the war is taking place on like a hill, or like there's a valley, and you have one military or one militia on this side and one militia on the other side, and you have the people to go down to the valley that clash. But then you have archers up on the hill, right? And you know, the archers are used strategically. I look at people like Tonya TKO and Cynthia G and them. I look at them as rogue archers, because there are literally people that are on the battlefield fighting, and you got these rogue archers that's shooting willy-nilly at anybody. There's no precision aiming. It's like shoot at the whole collective, like damn them all, right? That's what they do. Like they stand on the sideline with their bows and arrows and just shoot them at anybody. And I think that that's what they're doing. So it's like those of us who are out here fighting, like we're getting arrows in our back and in our front. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of like the situation that we're in. You know what I mean? Things are very, very, very chaotic. Shout out. I seen a few more people coming to the chat, so I want to acknowledge y'all. Shout out to Sister Toya. Appreciate you being here. Who is this right here? Shout out to Sister Zakia. Appreciate you being here. Fatty Black, you've been in here for a minute. Mr. Untouchable, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you being here. Trigger Happy 262, Blood Honey, Sister Cheryl, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's here. Y'all family, make sure y'all hit the like button as you are pulling up. Sister A, well, thank you. I try to give good analogies, I try. I mean, all right, let me keep on going here. But so Nyla in this upper comment, she says here, stop allowing Black men to use slavery for an excuse for their behaviors and conditions today. Now, I pulled that out because I do have a clip of Nyla using slavery and history for an analysis on what's happening with Black women. But like, to be honest, I have so many videos tonight or clips and segments to share with y'all that I don't want to go too deep into the crates. I really only want to focus on this exchange that had happened between Tonya TKO and the response that happened between Cynthia G and Nyla Says. That's all tonight is going to be about. I'm not going to go any further than that. And then at the end, like I said, I'm going to welcome the sisters up and y'all can come build with me, right? So that's one post from Tonya. The other post here says, I said Tonya, the other post here is from Nyla. It says, the police in Ohio pulled a paraplegic Black man out of the car and was abusive to him. He did nothing and was charged with nothing. They pulled him out of the car as he yelled, "You're going to hurt me. I'm a paraplegic." 2 years ago, I would have done content on this. Content isn't fighting white supremacy, by the way. But 2 years ago, I would have done content on this. I would have admonished the system and the white men that run it today. Today, I feel nothing. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not bothered about it. I feel no sorrow. I won't shed a tear. But I do feel for the women and girls who will be harmed every 6 hours. And then she says, go follow Black Femicide America on Instagram. Let me speak to this. She's basically saying, I care not for the value of Black man's life. I care not for their pain. I care not what happens to them. They can die today. It is what it is. She uses white supremacist language like knickers. Like if you go on any white supremacist Reddit page, they've been calling us knickers on there for a long time, right? So the fact that you have Black women who are literally using white nationalists, kangs and stuff like that, like that all comes from like white supremacist Reddit. So you have Black women that have adopted that language. It's very interesting. But she sends people to blackfemicideamerica.com, which is another anti-Black male propaganda page. I have an article, maybe at the end, one of the sisters, if y'all pull up during when I open up the live or whatever for y'all to pull up, if y'all mention it to me, I'll bring up the article. But the first thing I do want to address here is that they are purposefully using the term femicide incorrectly. Femicide and homicide are not the same thing, right? They are looking at homicides and calling them femicides. A femicide is when a woman is killed because she's a woman, right? So it means that not only did I murder you, the motive of me murdering you was I murdered you because you are a woman, right? That's what femicide is, right? So the percentage of murders that can be traced to somebody killing a Black woman because she is a woman is nil. You wouldn't even be able to find it in the statistics, right? And when you look at the studies of this stat that they are putting forth here, that in 2020, I believe there were 4 Black women murdered every year. The broader stat around that was that homicides were up exponentially and the black community all over the United States. And as homicides, gun violence has risen, black women are becoming a greater portion of the victims, and black children are becoming a greater portion of the victims in our community because of all of the shooting that's occurring in our community, right? But we understand the environmental factors around that. We understand what's driving the gun violence in our community. It's not because the people who are shooting are born terrorists from the womb. Like, oh, I see you're pregnant with a little nigger terrorist. Better abort that nigger. You know what I mean? Like, nah, like that's not it. But if you listen to them, that's what they would have you say. Now, these two screenshots on the far right of the screen are from Cynthia G's page. Again, this is the chat. I don't think that these are bots, but this is the chat when she first put forth the whole conversation around should we, because it first started as a question, and after the question part 2, it went to an affirmative. The question was, how are we going to come up with a solution to this problem? The problem, i.e. the black men. The black men are the problem in the community, right? So how do we come up with a solution? Oh, well, should we continue to birth black men? That's the question. Then they had a part 2 of the panel, and the part 2 was we should not birth them. If you are pregnant and you find out it is a black male child, you should abort that baby. And if that sounds very familiar with you for you, that's probably because you grew up in church like I did. Because when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's old school Hebrew Israelite genocide that they talk about right there. But I'll get into that. I want to read the first comment here under her live chat, her chat or whatever. The first comment comes from the Happy, Healthy, and Divested. It says, the older I get, more I am attracted to, I'm reading it in her words, so she might have just missed some words or whatever. It says, the older I get, the more I am attracted to conservative American white men. I love their masculinity, family values, and patriarchy. They come in different hair colors, skin tones, and eye colors. The man that I am courting, right? She's courting a man, right? She's chasing a man, is from Wyoming, a Christian, Republican, conservative, educated, and values me. As a heterosexual woman, I don't see the point of limiting myself to one race or ethnicity of man, right? So that's one comment about them basically worshiping white men. Oh, that comes out tomorrow, so I can't give y'all that. I'll give you a little sneak peek. When I'm talking about the negative impacts of low racial self-esteem, and y'all check out the episode tomorrow, one of the arguments that I make is that negative or low racial self-esteem not only leads to a negation or an abandonment of or a rejection of blackness, it leads to a valorization or a worshiping of whiteness. And that's not a gendered statement. Right, because black women and black men both suffer from the impacts of low racial self-esteem. However, a lot of my content, I'm focused on the development of men, so that's who I'm speaking to. But I definitely support messages of black women who are speaking to black women about similar issues. Right. Here's another joint right here. This one really took the cake for me. This is under Cynthia G's chat. So this Bella Noir person says, we may have to defend this strategy against the larger society. Industries are built and sustained by black male bodies. What strategy is she talking about? She's talking about the strategy that they agreed on of depopulating the black male population via targeted abortion. Right. So she said, we may have to defend this strategy, right, from the larger society. Like, we got to keep it hush. So the second person comes under there, the vegan on Shea Mountain, says, and this is somebody who's a member on Cynthia's channel. If you can see the little membership icon right there next to her name, the vegan on Shea Mountain. So maybe she got bot to her members, but this is what this person says. They say, exactly. We may have to move silently on this. Prisons are literally privatized corporations of free labor in many places here. So she's basically saying, yeah, if we're going to commit genocide against black men, we got to keep it under wraps so that, the corporations don't start to, lose that free labor and they try to stop us before we pull it off. And then somebody came under that and says, do you think we could possibly be targeted even more because of this decision? So they're basically asking, are black men going to come after them, and threaten them or target them because they're saying that they are going to abort black male children? I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but what I will say this, the fastest growing segment of prisoners in the United States is black women, heterosexual black women. So if you think that you're going to remove black men and you're just not going to be the replacement, you're just like, if you think, I always say, if anybody thinks that we have a future apart from one another, but again, these are people who are not, they don't think about the future. They can't get past their emotion and their trauma. They're so emotionally unhinged that they can't even think. They can't get past this right here. So they're not thinking about the future. All they're thinking about is, how can I cause pain? How can I cause hurt? Because hurt people hurt people. And these are people who are clearly dealing with unhealed trauma. And this is a mother B, as in Cynthia G, who is creating an environment, not for young girls to come and get healed, but for them to come and be fueled in their anger. She wants to fan that red pill rage. She wants to fan the flames, because this is somebody who wants to see a scorched earth. This person is suicidal and clearly genocidal. But I'm going to let her words show you that. I'm just laying it all up. Right. So I told y'all, when I first heard her speak about the situation, I thought about Exodus. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me pull up the super chat. Sister AY, you are my new, I don't know if there's another level that I can raise you to beyond the moderator, but I'm going to need, this is a channel that is supported by black men. So black men, how are y'all letting Sister AY, Brother Fatty Black, I better get a super chat from you before the end of the night. And it better be 10 times what Sister AY has sent so far, my brother. I'm putting you on the spot, because how y'all letting the sisters lead the way on the super chat? No, I'm lying. My producer Slam Bradley did send a super chat, so shout out to you, my guy. But y'all men that are here tonight, y'all better start sending those super chats. Y'all don't let Sister AY keep sending the super chats. What y'all doing? They're gonna call me a preacher over here. I'm eating off black women. All right, so this came from Exodus, the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verses 15 and 16, and it says here, then the king of Egypt told the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiphrah and Puah, when you help the Hebrew woman in childbirth, look at the child when you deliver it. If it's a boy, kill it. But if it's a girl, let it live. That's literally no different than what Cynthia G is saying. You know what I mean? When you get pregnant, black woman, take a look at the baby, you know, at the ultrasound, and find out what you're having. If you're having a male child, abort it. If you are, and unless it's a white male child, right? That's the caveat. The caveat is that the preference is, don't get pregnant by a black man. But if you should happen to get pregnant by a black man, and if it's a male child, kill it. This is literally what she's telling them. And I'm gonna let her speak all in her own words. But I want to start today with Tonya, right? So family, this is the part where we're going to do a lot of listening. I'm not even going to do a lot of annotation on this part. We're just going to do some listening. I might give y'all some annotation, but I got all the clips lined up. So we're going to listen to Tonya first, then we're going to listen to Cynthia, and we're going to listen to the other one. What's the other one named? Nala. And then I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. My preference tonight is for sisters to come up, because I want to hear from the sisters on this particular topic. But brothers, y'all are welcome to come, but let's create space, because I really want to hear from the sisters. All right. So this is the first. This all comes from a live that Tonya did on the 13th, so 4 days ago, and it says, "This is the part. This is where we part ways and say goodbye." Now, I think that's a double entendre, because she's saying that she's parting ways with Cynthia and them, but she doesn't say it. She focuses on her audience here. Like she'll never say that she's parting ways with them, because like I think that she's a bigger content creator. So, but really I think that title was a double entendre. But she's basically saying to her audience, because basically what happened was, you know, Tonya was cheering Cynthia on up until Cynthia got to the part like black male genocide, and Tonya was like, "Whoa, this bitch is crazy."
Talk your shit, Professor Omowale.
All right, so I want to play this clip real quick from Tonya. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 9 clips from Tonya. I don't think any of them are longer than 2 or 3 minutes. So we're going to get through all of this. All right, here go the first one.
So nonetheless, I was on this panel the other day. And when I was on the panel, there was a direction that things were going in on the panel. And I decided to present a more neutral, what do you call this? Point of view, right? More neutral, for instance, more points of view, broader depth and breadth for things that could be outside of what it is that we've considered or talking about or we're presenting, right?
All right, that's the first clip. I'm going to just keep giving you all the clips, and I'll give you a little quick annotation. She's giving them the background. She was on the Nuremberg trial, the genocide panel, and she said that things were going in a direction that she didn't feel comfortable with, and she decided to give her a different point of view. And when she gave that different point of view, she got attacked by not only Nala and Cynthia's audience, her own audience started to cannibalize her. So this is where she's cleaning house and saying to her audience, you know, if y'all going to call me mammies and all this other stuff, if I'm not the content creator y'all can go find somebody else, but I'll let y'all hear her say it. We gonna keep moving.
All of the people who feel that I'm a mammy or a pick me and all of this, and you don't feel that I can assist you, I'm the right person to assist you on your journey, and you feel that there's other messaging that is more in line with where it is that you're going and what it is that you're doing and where you want to be in life, go there, do that. But
all right, so she's admonishing her audience, right? If my content ain't for you, if you think I'm a mammy, if you think I'm a pick me because I don't want to wholesale slaughter unborn black male children, then maybe the content ain't for you, right? So she speaks to them, and this next part, this is where she says, I had an epiphany, right? She realized that she was on that slippery slope and she had slid into hell. She had slid into Hitler's hell, where Cynthia G and Little Nas X is like Hitler's left and right hand man. All right, so let me play this next clip right here where she starts to talk about she had an epiphany. Hold on one second. Is this Cynthia speaking? This is another creator. This is Tonya TKO. Tonya TKO is the one who was excommunicated from the Band of Traveling Misandrists. She was excommunicated. I call them the bottom, BOTM, right? Bottom dwellers. But the bottom dwellers threw her out because she wouldn't accept the genocidal edict that any black men who are, if a black woman has an unborn black man in her or black child in her, she should kill it immediately, right? So since Tonya wouldn't take that, she got thrown out of the group, out of the club, and essentially has kind of been getting bullied by her audience. You know, they've been following her across the different chats and calling her mammies and pick-me's because she wouldn't agree to the wholesale slaughter of black children, right? So that's what she's explaining right here. Now, right here is where she's going to say she had an epiphany. Like after kind of she got that wake-up call, like, oh, like I really did slide into the pits of hell, you know, with this content that I've been creating lately. She said I had a wake-up call. Here go the wake-up call.
Right. As a matter of fact, I had an epiphany on that panel.
Hold on one second. I just got a super chat from AV for $4.99. Shout out to you, AV. It says, sin is an extremist. Funny how black people can spew self-hate speech. You'll never see other communities saying no Mac stuff like sin. True indeed. True indeed. She's not only an extremist, like she's dealing with a lot of trauma. That's somebody who's not well. That woman is not mentally well or spiritually well in any way, shape, or form. So I appreciate the super chat, though. I appreciate that. All right, I'll let her. She's talking about having her epiphany.
And I realized that the work that I thought that women were doing, women were not doing. I had an epiphany, and I am actually going to be changing my messaging because as Black women, I feel that we have departed from doing our own work into looking at how we feel other people are the problem. how you feel that other people, when this world is really a world that shows up as a reflection of you. And there's some people who are not really ready to hear that.
I don't think anybody is ever able or anybody is ever ready to hear a message of accountability. That's not a message. The message is black men are the devil. Black men are our oppressors, and they are the ones who are terrorizing us. And if you won't agree to join us in killing them, then you are evil and you are wicked and you have betrayed us. And that's why they excommunicated her from the bottom. Right. So this next clip is her saying she just wasn't very comfortable with where the conversation was going. She felt as though the conversation was crossing into some very dangerous waters. And let me just say this. If Tonya TKO says this, the only reason I know about Tonya TKO is because my wife has been watching her for years. So my wife can pinpoint with precision where Tonya kind of like switched over and started making anti-black male content. So if she had an epiphany and she's not going to make it anymore, kudos to you. But I'm just saying you did a lot of damage. The stuff you did about the black men at the border with the Haiti crisis, that wasn't good. I mean, so you have some spiritual work to do, some your own cleansing work to do, because you've exposed yourself to a filth by coming in contact and helping to promote and support people who had ill intentions and were using your platform, because you have 190,000 subscribers, to help amplify even larger these messages that are meant to tear down and pathologize an entire segment of our community. So I'm glad that you backed away from it. So here's the part where she says that she felt as though things were crossing into a dangerous territory.
I see there's a lot of you who don't even know what this is. What I'm saying. There's some of you who know about the panel. There's some people who don't. I was on a panel a few days ago where we were discussing some ideas about bringing solutions for Black women, right? And we were attempting to flesh out these ideas and what it looks like in application, or what it would look like in application. And I feel that we were crossing into some territory that really raises some questions, right? That really raises some questions.
I mean, that's a natural progression, Tonya. If the premise from the very beginning is Black men are the problem, and then you go into the conversation and say, okay, we need to come up with a solution to the problem. It's very easy to get to just kill them. They're trash. They're useless. We don't need them anyway. What do they contribute? Just kill them. It's easy. That's a very linear progression to get there. If you start with the fact that this person has no value, their humanity means nothing, and then Cynthia takes it a step further and says, from the womb, they are derelict. They are terrorists. They are corrupted and evil from the womb. That little nigger boy is going to grow up to be a grown nigger man. Kill him now. Like, you have somebody, if that's the marching orders, like, yeah, it's going to cross into dangerous territory. Yes, because that's what you've just involved yourself with. All right. So what I have here now, I have a couple of callers. And just listening to the callers, I found an interesting trend that most of our callers from the U.S. were older women in their 40s and their 50s. And I was a bit disturbed by this one woman. I think it's the first woman. She's been teaching in the school district for 35 years. And clearly she's reached a point where she hates Black men. So I'm like, man, how do you interact with young Black children and young Black boys that are trusted under your care if you feel this way about Black males? So it's not just the teenagers and the 20-year-old somethings on Twitter who are calling Black men bullet bags that you have to be concerned with. This anti-Black misandry, as Dr. Tommy Curry refers to it, runs deep. And this is something that we have to analyze and examine. So what I have here now, this is the first caller who calls, and this call lasts about 4 minutes, and I want to play the entire thing. We're going to get through this, y'all. Trust me, we're going to get through it all. And around, I guess, the hour and 45-minute mark, maybe 2-hour mark, we're going to open it up. But like, this is Omowale After Dark. I could be here all night. I'm going to open up the line, but I want to play all of this. I don't have as many clips from Cynthia and Nala. I have the most clips from Tonya. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 more to get through. So let's get through this one. This one is about 3 minutes. Here it is.
Heard you just say that you were going to change your messaging. I would love to see you cater to Black women and Black girls, and really maybe just leave Black men out of the discussion. I mean, because we have so much work that needs to be done. And I mean, we get it historically from the time we were on the continent to we got here to today. We all know what's happening. And if we don't, it's a simple Google search away. But I just want to give you an example. I'm a teacher, and I've been a teacher since forever, 1988. And today in a class that I substituted for online, so I've been doing virtual for the last 2 years since COVID. And I've been teaching kids with this company in South Carolina, Louisiana, Texas, some other places, but kids from all over. You know what I'm saying? Today I was in Milwaukee. Those kids were horrendous, and the girls were worse than the boys.
I feel like Sister Katie said that when Sister Katie, I think, didn't you come on the panel and say, somebody came on the panel and asked me if I had to guess who was more worse in of our children today in the schools, whether the boys or the girls? And I said, I don't know, but since you're asking me the question, maybe the girls. And you were like, that's right. Was that you, Sister Katie? Because that's what this teacher is saying about, she's saying, like, she's telling Tonya, forget the boys altogether. We need to focus on the girls because the girls are out of order. Like, forget the boys altogether. Just forget them. We don't need them. This is an older woman who says she's been teaching for 35 years, by the way. Somebody said, peep the comment on the video. The comment says, my womb won't ever give birth to a Black male. Well, I mean, this is genocide. Here we go.
A little girl shot me a double bird.
Okay. Oh, what?
She shot me a double bird because I was telling them to stop being loud and getting up and being disrespectful. I mean, all of this is through the computer, so it's already hard. She shot me a double bird, continued to be disruptive, loud, disgraceful. It was heinous. And, the little teacher who was in the room with them, she's an older woman with a heart problem, and she's trying to control the situation. And I'm loud because you're not going to disrespect me because I'm an old school gangster teacher. I'm not going for that new school. I'll let you call me whatever you want. She called me a bald-headed B word.
Excuse me, how old is this child?
This is high school.
So she's 16, 15 to 8.
Between 9th and 10th grade, yes.
So about 15, 16 years old.
Yes. And I'm telling you, I've been a teacher for 35 years. I've seen it. Okay. I've been called a B before. In Texas, I was called a bald-headed B. But when the conference came and the mother wanted to chastise me, the conference came and I said, well, your daughter called me a fat-ass B. And the daughter said, no, I didn't. I called you a bald-headed ass B.
Oh, so she had to correct what type of B she called you in front of her mother.
She had to correct me, exactly. And her mother still wanted to chastise me. I got up from the table and I said, I don't do these kind of parent-teacher conferences. That's out. And I left. The girl today told the teacher that was in the room that her mother, the lady said, well, she doesn't talk to her mother like that. And the little girl said, my mother knows what I do. She knows how I act. And she'll come up to the school and she'll fight you. We need to work on women and girls. Because what these Negroes did or didn't do is irrelevant at this point. I get the other messages coming through, and I want Sin and everybody else to go hard because these men need to be made accountable. And there are men in this so-called manosphere who are dogging us, who are saying everything, and they need it. They need to get drilled. They need to get roasted. They need to be held accountable for what they're doing. But everybody.
That's a woman who's been teaching for 35 years. And if you hear what she says at the end about the men in the manosphere who need to get drilled, the problem with this level of ignorance is it presumes that the men in the manosphere and the talking points in the manosphere are representative of all Black men. I would never look at Cynthia G's talking points and then presume that these are representative. Never, even with the feminists. Like Dr. Valifia Watkins has always been clear that they are a very small and highly visible group of people, right? The Black feminist movement. She always was clear that they don't represent the thinking of Black women, right? You can't conflate Black feminists and Black women. Like, they are a minority. So it's the same thing when I'm looking at these anti-Black male misandrists. I don't look at them and be like, oh, this is indicative of all Black women. Why don't I do that? Because I work with many Black women. I'm in the community organizing with Black women. I'm in relation and community with Black women, and the ones that I see don't hate Black men. So this is something different. But what this lady just basically did is she said, yes, I support sin because somebody needs to drill those men in the manosphere. But the thing is, like, sin isn't drilling the men in the manosphere. She's drilling all Black men. She's saying, kill Black men, all Black male babies, kill them. Right? She's saying that Black men have no worth. And I want you to, I'm gonna let you hear all of her talking points because they're here. Hold on, family. I just got 2 super chats. I want to read those real quick. First one came from Sister AY. It says, what is an old school gangster teacher? Sound toxic as fuck.
So he want to come in here and redefine manhood, which is bull.
That's the one right here.
Okay. All right. I'm putting cases.
That's an old school gangster teacher right there.
Oh, you okay.
I gotta get my soundboard together.
All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Sister AV said there's a difference between accountability and promoting self-eradication. The Black manosphere don't even go that far. They go on about submission. Yeah, they do. I mean, they promote unicism in terms of, go date outside of the race. That child is not going to be a Black child. It'll be a mixed race child or whatever. But like, yeah, they don't go as far as saying, I guess they don't have wombs. So that would be the argument that Cynthia makes. They don't have wombs to say, kill these nigger babies like I want to. You know what I mean? So this is all poison. It's very, very toxic. I'm sorry, but it is. All right. So that was the end of that clip. That was the first caller. Got 2 more callers here. So here's the second caller. I'm sorry, I got 3 more callers. Here's the second caller. And this one I found to be very interesting. All right. This one is about 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Here we go.
My husband does as well. And
So she just started off by saying, I've been watching you for a long time and my husband does as well. All right. That's how she started. Here we go.
Did see the panel. I caught it late, but I did catch the panel.
Mm-hmm.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but it's funny that just last week, I was talking to my husband about the content that you guys do collectively. And he was saying, I think Tonya's going to walk away. And I know he's listening right now. So hi, hon. Yeah. He says, I think Tonya's going to walk away from this. And I'm like, you think so? And he says, yes. I'm like, okay. And it was interesting to see you walk away because I think at some point during the argument, I was reading the comment section too. And what I realized was that people forgot that the initial video started with what was said by the 2 commenters about a child. And if the hierarchy of things is that in the community is that the men were not necessarily over us, but the men are supposed to be the leaders and they're not acting like leaders. And we've been stepping up to act like leaders. Then what happens to when us as women who are, as the men would say, are the matriarch of the community, or we're acting as if we're the matriarch of the community, start acting as if we too don't care for a segment of our community that is a part of our community, the most vulnerable part of the community. Now, I'm going to say again, I don't care what another woman chooses to do with her womb. But once a child is here, that child needs to be cared for. That child needs not just a mom that love it or a father that love it. That child needs community. And if a segment of the community is ostracizing a child that doesn't have the ability to correct, that doesn't even have the ability to understand why it's being ostracized, which is what everyone is claiming is going on to some of these men, then we're now becoming those same people that we're fighting against. It's almost as if when we say Black men want to be the white men of the community, are we then saying that Black women want to be the Black men of community by sitting there saying such a negative thing about a child?
So, I mean, clearly the callers who were calling in were not in agreement with the genocide plan that Cynthia G had laid out. So she asked the question, if Black men are the so-called terrorists and we say that black men want to be the white men in the community, or are we now saying that black women want to be the black men in the community? So very interesting question. Hey, I'm hoping that a few of my sisters here. Oh, first of all, I got 45 likes, got 60 people watching right now. I appreciate everybody who's giving a like. I support y'all because y'all support me. I support y'all because y'all support me. I did all this work for y'all. These are a lot of timestamps, but I want y'all to hear it all because I know a lot of people are not familiar with this discussion. Last weekend, we went through great detail dealing with the rapist dude, the people who were talking about, flying abroad and having sex with 11 and 12-year-old children, and that was in the manosphere. Right. So now we're dealing with some of the craziness that's coming out of the women's sphere. I'm getting a phone call from my sister. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. My sister's name is Tonya, by the way. Yo, what up, T? Yeah. He's supposed to be stopping by to pick something up from you. All right. That wasn't a drug deal. All right. I'm sorry. I had to take that, y'all. That was an important call. All right. So what's the next clip here? All right, here go. The next clip is dealing with this one is about 1 minute and 15 seconds long. And I want you to listen to this because this is a black lady who sounds like she's in her 50s, but she refers to Cynthia G as an intellectual that she listens to for sound advice. But not only that, she says that she gives her daughter advice based upon what Cynthia G tells her. Right. So she's teaching her daughter based upon a lesson she's learned from Cynthia G. And then at the very end, she says, I agree with Cynthia G, although I think that my agreement with her might be coming from a jaded place. What does that mean? Coming from an unhealed place. I haven't healed or dealt with my own trauma. So Cynthia is really just a space where I go to get my ego kind of like nurtured. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to really address my trauma. I don't really want to address it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to heal it. You know what I mean? And Cynthia allows me to keep it, and she gives me somebody to blame. So here it is right here. This is an older lady too, by the way.
When I listen to Cynthia, I think I can get from you and her, I can get that calmness, and Cynthia calm, I can get that intellectual view of what's going on. And I can try to help my daughter and myself, because I'm in a situation now where the information I'm getting from you guys, it's really helping me. Because I suffer from anxiety and coupled with depression. And I had to come to realize that some things that going on in Black community, yes, it is true. And I'm finna end the call, but what I'm saying is I can get your point and I can get Cynthia G point. I have to agree with Cynthia G because so many, right now, what's going on, Black men do not value Black women. They are killing young Black ladies, girls, and it's not all, but they're not all won't speak up. They just want to make it about this issue here or this issue here. No, they need to stop doing that. They need to stop demeaning Black women online. And until they do that, I don't see no sense in it. I don't see no sense in, in really just, procreate. Right now, but that might, be coming from a jaded place with me. But
she said that these men need to stop demeaning Black women online. And until they do that, I don't see no sense in procreating, although that might be coming from a jaded place for me. You mean to tell me you can't get into a relationship with a Black man and understand, is this the Black man? Is his mindset, is his morals and his character, the mindset, morals, and character I want to raise a child? And if the answer is yes, are you trying to, like, I really don't get it. It's like, they are literally using the manosphere, which is not indicative of Black men. It's actually is a group of Black male conservatives who've imbibed a lot of white supremacists and Christian patriarchal talking points. But that's not, by and large, the group. But they're using that group as a representative of all men to now be justified in the conclusion that, hey, we shouldn't be birthing these nigger boys. Like, they sound like white supremacists. It's real crazy. But Fatty Black said that's foolish. I agree, my brother. It is foolish. Shout out to Martin Luther King with the do-rag on. I like that avatar right there. But yeah, that was a woman who's in her 50s and listens to Cynthia G for intellectual insight and is teaching her children what she's learning from Cynthia G. That's scary. All right, next clip. I got clips for y'all. I said I'm gonna let all the clips off. I'm letting them off. All right, so this clip is this is her first international caller. Here it is.
Sentiment that you were being emotional during that time, and I didn't see anything that you were saying as being emotional. I mean, I thought that everything that you were discussing and the questions that you were asking were quite logical. You know, for example, the idea that what's going to happen if no more Black men are birthed. I mean, that seems like a logical question. It doesn't have anything to do with emotion. You know, I see also sentiments of gaslighting, and I just don't see how what you're doing is gaslighting at all. I mean, I think that we should, of course, be careful about our reproductive health. I'm married interracially, and I encourage other Black women to explore their options. But the idea that we're being spouted, I did think that they were extreme, and I thought that you did bring balance, and I don't understand the backlash from that. I think a lot of it is women who are you know, look, I don't want to kind of dismiss people's feelings or where they're coming from, but to me it feels like people who are angry and upset and looking for something to say that's extreme, like, okay, nani boo boo, we're not going to birth you anymore, but that just doesn't seem like a logical conclusion. So I just don't understand how you were the emotional one in this particular argument. So it's just a little bit baffling to me.
All right, the caller basically just said there she doesn't understand why people were gaslighting Tanya and saying that she was being emotional, where the caller says she felt as though the people who were being very extreme were like, nah, nani boo boo, we're not going to birth you, or just people who haven't healed their trauma. Like, these are people who are just angry and want to hurt you at all costs, and they feel like this is a way to hurt you. And this last caller echoes a very similar sentiment. The last caller that you're about to hear right now makes the argument that Cynthia isn't necessarily giving a mandate to women to actually act on. She's basically putting the messaging out there so that Black men will understand this is where Black women currently are. And Cynthia, if you've not listened to her content, she's not putting no mandate out there so Black men can act right. She don't fuck with Black men. She hates Black men. Like, I thank God I don't think she has a male child, but Lord, if she did, like, I know if she has a Black female child, that child is going to hate the fuck out of its father. Because when that child is around Cynthia, she ain't going to do nothing but drag that father's name through the mud. Even if she never talk about him, if she talks about all Black men, like, that child is not going to fuck with Black people at all. Like, I can tell you that much, 1,000%. Like, but let me play this last clip, and then I'm going to go to Cynthia. And when I go to Cynthia, y'all are going to hear how deranged and, like, she sounds like a complete lunatic, like very genocidal, very Hitler-esque, and you're going to catch it all. So this is the last clip, and I think this is the clip that Cynthia hated the most because Tanya referred to her as Hitler. So here it goes.
You mentioned that you turned me on to Cynthia G and to these other women. So I think that you all are doing good work, but maybe some people are a bit more impatient. And, you know, sometimes we have a secret audience when we're saying certain things. So I feel like maybe some of the things that were said were not meant to be like an admonition to women to do something as much as they were a message to men that this is where we're at.
Well, you know what? One of the things that I think we can keep in mind is that when we are broadcasting on the internet, we have a mixed audience, male, female, Black, white, and everything in between. So when we are discussing and our talking points sound very much like something someone in the Hitler era would say, you know, I think we have to be very careful with how our talking points could mimic those of those who feel that we're inferior, especially when we imply that we are inferior and that there is something inherently wrong with us.
All right, so that was the last clip from Tonya TKO. Now I'm gonna give y'all these clips from Cynthia. Trigger warning. If you haven't heard extreme cooning before, if you haven't heard extreme white supremacist talking points before, you're gonna hear them now. So all these clips are coming from Cynthia, and there's only there's only 4 of them, and they are not good. So trigger warning if you can't take it, especially to the black men who are here. All right, so I apologize in advance. Here's Cynthia G. Here's the first clip, where she basically talks about black men are, something is inherently wrong with them. Right here it is, right here.
This now because my what I talk about was literally compared to Hitler. I felt that my rhetoric was Hitler-esque. And saying that, acknowledging that there is inherently something different, which I never said wrong. But there is something wrong. But if you go to the panel, I actually said that there is inherently something different about black men than black women, because even though black women have gone through the same thing, we're able to transcend it. Black men are still on the plantation. They haven't got off. That's why they keep mentioning it. They haven't progressed at all. So just by virtue of that, clearly there has to be something inherently wrong. The environment is the same. Mm-hmm. And then I back this up by the nature-nurture theory. Based on that theory, there would have to be something innately wrong with them. We were in the same hostile environment, experiencing the same thing. Either way, there will be a difference because we're a different gender.
I don't even know. Sister AY says, I appreciate the trigger warning. I appreciate you, sis. This chick is like a bona fide weirdo. And the fact that people think that she's an intellectual is actually pretty scary. I don't want to spend time just tearing her arguments apart because they're just so very weak. But black women don't experience anti-black misandry. You have to be black and male to experience anti-black misandry. We don't experience the environment the same because a woman is not a threat, a physical threat in the way that a man is. There's a reason why when you look historically and you read all their documentation in terms of how to dominate and subjugate, that the level of terror that's applied to the black man to not only mess with his psyche, but also the psyche of the mother is at such a heightened level. It's I always say, like, during the slave period, during the institution of slavery, black women had access to parts of their adulthood, parts of their humanity that black men would never have access to, because the threat of a black male being a man and doing what men do was such a severe threat that if you showed any semblance of wanting to put on manhood, put on the cloak of manhood, you would be murdered. They didn't care if you were 8 or you were 80 years old. You are a boy and you will be treated as such. Whereas though the African woman would be allowed to express disappointment, she suckled the children of Massa and Miss Anne. So she had the opportunity to express parts of her humanity or adulthood because she wasn't seen as threatening. This is not a shot or a dig at black women, but there is no advance that black women have made in this country without the aid of the federal government. Like, literally every step that black women have made along the way have been subsidized by the federal government. So to say that we are experiencing the same environment, so there must be something inherently wrong with you as a man because black women are thriving, as somebody who's a lunatic and somebody who's insane and somebody who hates black men to such a degree that they can't even look at a clear reality and facts in the face because they don't want to see it. This is a person who's filled with hate and filled with rage. So here's the next one. I think that this is another black woman in her 40s. encouraging black women between the ages of 18 and 21 to get a procedure done to get their tubes done away with before they even have children, so they don't have to worry about having children with a black man. This is like an adult like telling their 9-year-old to have a sex change. Like you're telling somebody to have a lasting surgery that's going to impact them for the rest of their life at 18 and 21 because you're 40 and you're bitter. These are some bitter, unhealed black women. There's nothing that you can tell me to make me believe anything different. I want you to listen to this. This is another black woman. Here it is. And I'm not using them as a representation of black women. This is all on Cynthia G's Nuremberg trial where they're calling for the genocide of black men. Here it is.
I think tubal ligation needs to be talked about more too. I think that black women need to know that they can get their tubes tied between the ages of 18 and 21. So yeah, you need to be hopping on that train if you don't want these black male babies around here walking with 2 legs. But I'm gonna say this.
She said, yeah, you need to be hopping on that train to tell black women to sterilize themselves if you don't want these black male babies to be walking around here with 2 legs. This is sick. This is sickness, y'all. This is sickness. Here's another clip. This is I don't know. I'm not going to diagnose anybody with narcissistic disorder, but black women have egos too. Like I'm listening to Cynthia right here. She sounds like an extreme egomaniac. She's talking about, she reams black women and tells them that, hey, you're worshiping black men. And then she'll flip it and say, black men are only here to serve and worship black women. That sounds like Kevin Samuels, right? Where Kevin Samuels says to a woman, your only purpose here is to serve a black man. This is a black woman saying the same shit. So this is not somebody who's intellectually honest. This is somebody who just wants to cause pain. And she sees these black women who are hurt and have experienced trauma. She sees them as fodder to shoot at the community. This is somebody who's evil, dark, and wicked. I want you to listen to this.
Hypergamous as Kim Kardashian, if not more. Black women should.
I finessed a number of different men in my days. I really was. I finessed a few of them. Some of them were black, some of them were not. And I make no apology. I have none, not one apology behind that. No, men are here to serve women. I truly believe this. This is my belief system. And I'm sticking to my belief system. And I think black women deserve to be served. It just is what it is. And if black men don't want to do it, which they clearly don't, then go to a different group of men. I'm a firm believer that if one person won't give you what you want, go find somebody else too.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sister AY. The lack of empathy screams narcissistic disorder. There's something wrong with this chick. I don't know what's wrong with her, but there is something wrong with her for sure. And this is the last clip from Cynthia. I'm gonna play this clip and then hold on. Let me drop the invite link in. After I play this clip, I'm gonna play a clip from Nala. Hold on, let me share this with y'all. It's a link to join live. I'll play this clip and then I'll play a clip from Nala. And if the sisters, y'all want to come up and talk, let's talk.
To figure out what this actually looks like, because to me it morally it doesn't seem right.
Yeah, but this isn't about morally. It does seem right. The black male worship won't let you see that it is right. It's black male worship when you can admit that black men are doing.
You're talking about black male worship when we're talking about killing babies in the womb.
Ella, they're not going to stay babies. Ella,
like,
Ella, they do not. Ella, they don't stay babies.
You hear this shit? She said, you're talking about black male worship when we're talking about killing babies in the womb. And her response is, Ella, they don't stay babies. So
You spend the least amount of your life as a baby. You got all of these problematic black men started as babies.
You're talking about killing a child in the womb, and you're talking about because they don't stay
People do it all day, every day. People do it all day,
and it's still wrong all day, every day. But
your perception.
So
that is
it shouldn't be a form of birth control. Fix your life. Close your legs.
Birth control is going to do the same thing. Birth control is going to have the same same outcome.
No, birth control prevents you from becoming pregnant. It doesn't kill the baby.
They're still not existing. So
and
really,
like I said, prevents you from
people
becoming
can get
pregnant.
an abortion if they want to.
Yeah, people are going to do that even if they want.
Promoting it. We're promoting people killing.
No, I think people should get
a boy.
Yes, I think people should get abortions. A lot of people.
Here's the thing. It's 100% black male worship when you can fail to mention any way that it is beneficial to black women to birth black males, but you still want them to be birthed. That is 100%.
Tell me how it's beneficial for you to decide to keep having abortions, to kill.
Because let me tell you why. Because you have less black men creating single mothers. You have less black men creating violence in the community. You have less black men harming black women and children and touching them inappropriately. You have less ineffective men. That's how. It's a huge benefit to not. There's
violence to the bodies of the women who had to suffer through the abortion, the cutting up of the baby, and the vacuuming.
If that's what she wants to do, who cares? It's her body. Who cares? If that's what she wants to do, who cares? But the bottom line of it is that you're talking like black men are not out here posing
I'm not promoting it. I'm not promoting it.
Because you're overlooking because you think that black men.
Hold on, let me read this. Hold on. All right. Super chat, Sister AY once again. Hold on, let me pull this out. It says, why don't they censor this nonsense? I don't know. You know, I'm not a fan of censoring, but let me keep playing this. This goes for about another 28 seconds. So here y'all go.
I'm thinking there's
the harm that they're causing to their community.
Choose better. I'm saying choose better.
Right, and you wouldn't choose black men. Choosing better would be to choose to not birth your terrorists. It just is what it is. You're not gonna you cannot ignore. You're choosing to because of black male worship, but you should not ignore.
Y'all remember when I told y'all I was on that panel, the first and only panel that I've been on over in the manosphere, and the dude said to me that the biggest terrorists in the black community is black men ages 15 and 25. Like these talking points are white supremacist talking points that cross both borders of the sphere, both the manosphere and the woman's sphere. All right, hold on one second. This has a few more seconds.
If I go to a sperm bank because there ain't no more black men out there, I go to a sperm bank and I get me a black man sperm, then I'm still going to birth me a black male, and then I chose to have that one, but you're still choosing to have some black male sperm, and then instead of actually going and vetting and getting a black man. How do you know that?
If you bet, you're not going to choose a black man. If you bet, you're not going to choose a black man. If you bet, you're not going to choose a black man. If you're betting appropriately, you're not choosing a black man. Number one,
all right, so there you have it. If you vet appropriately, you are not going to choose a black man. I mean, it says what it is. This chick is a lunatic. So, all right. The last clip that I have here is from Nala Says. And here we go right here.
Say, first of all, I really do appreciate this conversation. And I do want to say to our listening audience that all of the women up here are on friendly terms. And it's problematic when you guys try to make it into something else. So let's stop the name calling because of the differences of opinion. But attrition warfare is what comes to mind when I think about this. And if you're familiar with attrition warfare, it's basically, it's a strategy. It's a military strategy, right? Where some people, if we say that there's a war on Black women and children, everyone would agree and say, yes, there's a war on Black women and children, right? But what women have failed to do, and definitely what men have failed to do, as a collective, they're not fighting in this war against the obvious enemy. And I will agree with Tonya and Ella that yes, some of the enemies are women as well. But within the war of attrition, which is what this is starting to take shape for me in my mind, it's basically where you cause destruction to the other side by wearing them down, denial of resources, and stuff like that. Now, there is a time when the war of attrition will not work, and that's if the other side can stand the long-term loss, can stand to basically be withheld of whatever it is that you have that they need. Well, we don't have to worry about that in this war because these men don't war with.
All right, y'all. That was the last video for the evening. I wanted y'all to hear that. Hold on one second. Let me stop sharing here. I wanted y'all to hear that because, like y'all know, I definitely am a student of war. And in no situation is there a war of attrition that takes place between men and women of the same community. That's what you refer to as genocide. If you were here this morning for the political unicism of divested politics, where my critique of BGS Idmore, when he calls himself a general in the war, but he's talking about a war against Black women. And that's very similar talking points. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I do have somebody in the back chat right now, somebody Taz Exclusives. Shout out to you. So, brother, I will bring you up, but I want to give room for some sisters to join first, because just give me a second. Let me go ahead and play some music here. I want a few of my sisters to join for this conversation.
Y'all don't see them scars on our backs?
The link is in the chat.
Whips, bullet holes, and stab wounds. It's like we got the whole world on our shoulders. But watch how we carry it.
Get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead a nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a Black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a Black man make it? Right. I got a family to feed. Still hungry, so you feeling like you underachieved. I'm a god on my feet, I never bend at the knees. I stand tall, break bread with my kings. It's the knowledge we bring. Born leaders, we acquiring goals, acquiring land. Until the day we lie in that hole, I own your plans. Or let them take that fire out your soul. Fuck these niggas, go get what you owe. You know these streets can get cold. A wise man said you reap what you sow. I'm sowing them seeds to make sure my family succeed. From the bottom where it's trifling, and niggas wanna fight with it, and crackers try to stifle it. But still I'm on enlightenment. Now watch I sneak my rifle in. Malcolm in the windowsill, shit get real. All I know is different day, bigger bills. They don't wanna see you shine. Fuck them though, I'm getting mine. Posted at the motherfucking finish line. Bitch, get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a Black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a Black man make it?
Can a Black man make it, nigga? I ain't got a choice. I've been winning for a minute, now it's time I use my voice. We've been down in every way, but we still had to lead. Our families that try to keep the world up the speed of the fuckery that brings generations of disease. Depression and the spilling of the same blood I bleed. Try to tighten up the chains and tell me that I was free. So I stand through it all for my seeds. Yeah, that system top not in the trap. His box, but the evolution of the Black man can't be stopped. Check your time, watch, we rise again and again. The battle every demon, so our kids can sit and find a peace of mind to keep our ass up out the video, go to sleep so we can wake up and do it again.
Yo, you gotta wait until the music stop playing.
100 times, say our name with respect.
Bro, I ain't gotta wait for shit, bro. Stop that.
Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world try and take. Damn, can a black man make?
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 Without the whole world try and take. Damn, can a black man make?
That was Can a Black Man Make It? All right, listen, I dropped the link in the chat. Any sisters who want to pull up and have the conversation, I really want to hear from the sisters tonight. This is who I'm holding space for this conversation. I'm gonna bring Taz back up. We're not gonna do those, no disrespect.
Hey, bro, why you got my wife on the cover of this motherfucking video? You already disrespected me, nigga.
All right, you got a question.
Why do you have my wife on the cover of this video is a question.
The question is, why is your wife out here? First of all, your wife is a grown woman. She's a grown
bitch
woman.
Ass nigga, that's my motherfucking wife. So I asked you a question. I ain't asked you.
So we not gonna do that. Like, I'm not about to have that type of conversation. I'm not on weirdo energy. What I need for grown men to do is you need to really advance beyond like being a 17-year-old running around the internet trying to protect your mama. I don't know you. I don't know your wife. Your wife is a content creator. She's a grown woman. She's putting her perspectives out on the internet, online. They can be responded to. But I'm not about to deal with anybody who's like in their 17-year-old bag that's running around the internet trying to defend their mom. So that's not what we're going to do. So I'm going to drop the link back in the chat. Like I said, I'm here for any sister who wants to pull up. Somebody said, Taz, check your wife. If we got any Sister AY, you've been dropping super chats in this joint all night. So Sister AY. So Sister AY, if you want to pull up, definitely pull up. This person here, Etova Scales, aka Tobilly, says you're in a woman's conversation. Or she says you're in a woman's conversion, but this probably means you're in a woman's conversation. I'm a nationalist. I'm concerned with all things that concern the nation, right? Anything that concerns black men, anything that concerns black women is something that I'm certainly concerned with. So if there are a group of black women who are within our community that are calling for the eradication of black males, that are calling for the genocide of black males, that's certainly something that I would be concerned with. That's not a woman's conversation. Calling for the eradication of black males. Sister Pro Woman, you gotta mute your YouTube in the back. That's not a woman's conversation. Calling for the eradication of black males. Sister Pro Woman, you gotta mute your YouTube in the back. That's not a woman's conversation.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, let me mute my television.
Oh, you got me on all the stations.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm still getting a lot of feedback. You got me on all the stations.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh my God. Oh.
There's still a little bit of feedback coming through.
Can you hear me now?
Did you just say that, or was that the mic in the back?
Can you hear me now? Am I good?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I got everything muted. Oh my God. Where do I start? I had been on social media fast, so I wasn't aware of a lot of what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And caught this, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, this is why I stayed away. Let me just say, I'm I was on a panel maybe a month or two ago with Nyla and Cynthia and Taz and on Brother Q Butter's channel.
Mm-hmm.
And Cynthia G came up, Nyla came up, and we were challenging their talking points. We weren't able to go for 5 minutes before they began to resort to personal insults. They do not have rational arguments that they can defend. So I have no problem trying to debate them as a Black woman, trying to converse with them, or even just have a healthy exchange or discussion of our ideas. Not so much to try to change anyone's mind. I think they're so blinded and fixed in their bias. There's no changing their minds.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I even bother to engage them, and the reason why I'm here now, well, you're on another level, is for the benefit of those who are watching. As you are well aware, there are people who are subject to a sort of psychological capture that maybe people like you and I are not. And I, in good conscience, can't sit back and not say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So as I speak up and try to counter the different arguments that are out here on YouTube, there's so many of them, Omowale, and so many of them are trying to take Black people away from just the very fundamental work of what we have to do, which is be disciplined.
Yeah.
To study, to aggregate our resources. There's nowhere that we can run. There's nothing we have to wait on. We have to start where we are with what we have. And all of these voices and talking points take us away from that. So if I challenge that, it's nothing personal against these people. That's what I'm challenging, to try to get us to the best thinking. I say that it's important that we attack this problem with sound reasoning and thinking, because when we got off the ship, we didn't know we'd come up with the Underground Railroad, but we kept our mind, woke up every morning with our mind set on freedom, like that song says. And from that thinking, we came up with the Underground Railroad and its nuances and its details. The same thing goes for our problems now.
Yeah.
So we have to get to better thinking. Cynthia is not well. You said it. She is not well. So this is the person, someone who is delusional, mentally ill, deeply, deeply traumatized and hurt. She has said that she's been raped. She comes from dysfunction. Her father wasn't in her life. There's nothing but dysfunction around her. Something that I like for the audience to think about in terms of evaluating the voices that you're hearing on YouTube is, what has their message done for their life and those around them? And from what Cynthia G has said, she has nothing but dysfunction around her. Her brother is dysfunctional, as married white woman, dates white women. Her siblings have procreated with white people. She has literally a white niece or nephew. So her message hasn't even been able to impact and correct her life and her circumstances. So what is it going to do for us and the larger Black community? And let me just stay with Cynthia and Nyla and that whole corral of ladies. Again, when I call these people the LLCs and the NOPEs, LLC and NOPE, NOPE. These people have lives of losses and contradictions minus the contributions. So Cynthia G has a lot of L's in her life. And this is just from what she has said, because she doesn't show her life. So we really don't know what's going on in her life, because she doesn't show her life. She doesn't show herself interacting in life, interacting with people, walking down the street, interacting with anything. Is she involved in anything outside of YouTube? Is YouTube her accomplishment? or does she have accomplishments to put on YouTube? From what I'm aware of, from what she said, she was not winning at life. And that's the case for most of them. Many of them have too many L's in their background, and they do not have the level of contribution to match the criticism that they heap on the Black community.
Yeah.
For some reason, they think that they're smarter than everybody else and that they're doing so much more than everybody else. But I don't see the impact or the results. Where is it? Can they show it? Show their work. Talk about what they're doing. Don't be so reactionary, talking about what everybody else is doing. Show their work. Talk about what they're doing. If they're so smart and they're doing so much, they should be getting results. And people would have to mess with them. When you become a force to be reckoned with, to be recognized, you will be reckoned with, or the vice versa. Either way, if they're getting results, people would have to mess with them and listen to them.
Yeah.
Where are their results? I don't see it. So why should we listen to them? Now the nopes. I call the nopes the non-organizational personality who elocutes but does not execute. None of them are connected to any kind of an organization in any kind of shape or form that they've started or that they've gone and supported and latched themselves onto. I'm not aware of any that they said. If they have, I would like them to put it forth and show the impact and show the results of their involvement, since they want to tell us what we need to do. And they want to tell us that we're not doing anything. One last thing.
Take your time.
Cynthia and Kevin Samuels, I talk about the manosphere and the women's sphere in the same vein because they use the exact same tactics. Kevin Samuels says that Black women never accomplish. I saw Brother Ben X did a show. Was Kevin Samuels said that women have never accomplished anything outside of Madame Curie. They've never accomplished anything. Cynthia says that Black men have never accomplished anything, never have organized collectively for power. Then when you go to give her many, many examples of Black men organizing collectively for power, she'll move the goalpost. Oh, that's not really what a collective is. And then when you say, well, let's go to the dictionary definition of what a collective is, she'll say, oh, that's not it. I'm smarter than you. I know more than you do. And that's what Kevin Samuels does. He's smarter than everybody. He's above everybody. They use the exact same tactics. Cynthia G says, whenever you speak affirmatively or affectionatively about Black men, that you're being Black male worshiping. There's a video somewhere on here on YouTube of her speaking very affectionately of her daughter's father, who has multiple children by multiple women. Many would say he fits the description of being dusty. That's the thing with her and Nyla. They talk about dusty Black men, but the men that they're with have more dust that could fill a vacuum bag. So how can they talk about Black women choosing dusting Black men when both of them men could fit that description of being dusty? So she's speaking very affirmatively of Rob and how he's such a great father and a great man, but the guy has multiple children by multiple men, but multiple women. So was she not being Black male worshiping? And the video's out here somewhere on YouTube. I'm not sure. You could probably search in Cynthia G, Rob and Perkins, and it'll come up. So she said, whenever you speak affirmatively of Black men, you're Black male worshiping. And then in the manosphere, whenever you speak affirmatively or affectionately of Black women, you're simping.
Yeah.
So these two groups, they use the exact same strategy, the exact same tactics. You point out the weaknesses and fallacies and their errors in their thinking, and then they result to insults and name calling. They really can't go more than 5 minutes and be able to rationally defend their arguments. They really can't with anybody with half a brain. Some of the comebacks that Kevin Samuels gives, I'm like, are like the one you showed of him saying that it's about winners and losers, that white people, it's not about race, it's winners and losers. White people won and we lost, so we should have to acquiesce to them and go to their standards. First of all, that win and loss had everything to do with race and
Absolutely.
the racialized system that they created. That's one. Number two, the game's not finished yet.
Absolutely.
So we're not done yet. And so we have not lost totally yet. As long as we're on this earth, as long as you're on this earth and breathing, as long as I'm here, there's a chance. So we have not totally lost everything yet. I'm not ready to throw in the towel. He might be, I'm not, and I don't think you are either.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We don't do the castrated politics over here, and that's the whole challenge with everybody on that side of the room. I'm referring specifically to the manosphere right now, right? The whole defeatist, let's align with white supremacy and attack our community, right, for the benefit so that we can get as individuals by partnering with this particular group of men against our own, right? So I don't know if you even saw the episode that we dropped this morning, the political unicism of divested politics, but literally
not yet. I'm
everything that you saying tonight, like we spoke to that in that episode, and then the episode that we got coming out tomorrow, which deals with black men and the negative impact of low racial self-esteem, it gets at that as well. So
yeah, it's hard to watch. Our immune systems are pretty high, but we even have trouble with the level of toxicity that comes from both sides of this.
Yeah. Did you see the analogy that I put together, the illustration I put together?
About where you stand when you
with the hold on one second just so you can see. I don't know if you was here, because I know you have a very business mind from the first time that you pulled up over here. You was giving me a lot of good insight that I really appreciate.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Samuels, he's really use a third mover strategy. Yeah. This is
Did you see this?
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure you saw. Well, no, I did. I was giving an analysis on this about like how this content creator space works, right? And like for me, like I'm very, very clear that most of the people who are in this space don't do any organizing work. Like they are content creators.
Yeah, they're nopes, non-organizational personalities.
I like that. Non-organizational personalities who eloquent but do not execute. I wrote that down. That's and I agree with that 1,000% because that is my biggest critique. Like I'm not. I told Brother Moses when he was here last week, I'm never putting on any clown shoes and jumping in the circus, right? The work that I do here, the analysis that I give here is an extension of the real work that I do, right? Like I'm solidified in terms of like my work won't stop. So I appreciate you calling that out. I don't know where my moderator's at, but it seems like the trolls have showed up in force. But hold on, I got Sister AV in the back chat. I'm gonna pull her up because she's been giving a lot of Sister AV. What you listening to over there?
Oh, I have like some jazz going on in the background.
Okay, it sounds very peaceful over there. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you being here tonight. Was tonight your first time here?
Yeah, because I was just like seeing what everyone's opinion was about this situation, and then I came across your live, and I was like, oh, let's see what he has to say about this, because I'm sure he has a lot to say about it since he's a black man, you know.
Well, hold on. Is this your first time on the channel?
On your channel altogether, yeah.
Okay, well, welcome. Hold on. Shout out to you. But yeah, no, we keep it really fair and balanced over here. Like we don't attack anyone. We attack arguments, because if you put an argument out there, I mean, you put it out there in the public to be critiqued or agreed with. So, what is your perspective though? Because you said you've been moving around this space, looking to see what different people are saying on it. What's your perspective?
Well, let me just start by saying that I am pro-life. I'm not pro birth, which I feel like you should make a distinction, because I find that a lot of people who claim to be pro-life, they're not actually pro-life. They're just very, pro-birth, aka control what women do with their bodies. I believe that once the baby's here, the baby should be taken care of, you know? I think that my main issue with this whole talking point is that it's giving Margaret Sanger. It's like, how can you claim to be pro-black, but then you will do things that a white woman put in place to eradicate your community? And then, you know, there's the other part of it that offends me because, you know, if you listen to Cynthia G, she claims that she doesn't attack mixed women and non-black women, but she does. I listened to her for sheer shock value because, let's be real, the girl's shocking. And then after some point, I just started to feel personally attacked. Like, why can't you get your point across without making everyone else feel attacked? Like, if she was talking about a very specific type of black men, then I'm sure a lot of men wouldn't care what she had to say. But it's like, then when you get into the absolute statements of like, oh, it's all black men, oh, and all biracial women, and all non-black women, it's like, Nana, like, you can't say that because you don't know everybody in the world. How can you sit there and promote something like abortion that should only be used in extreme circumstances because of eugenic things like gender, more specific towards black male children? And then what you're gonna go do? You're gonna go create a bunch of biracial girls, the same girls that make you feel some type of way? Then what? And then the whole, oh no, she wasn't saying abort black children. She was saying don't even procreate. Don't, you know, whatever, have sex with black men. It's like, okay, so she should have said that. Like, the girl can clearly, like, so it's like, is her fans saying that she's too dumb to say what she means and means what she says? Because I can literally
I think she's actually quite, she says some things that are actually quite dumb. I don't know why people think she's an intellectual. Now, I understand that she does have a PhD.
She has a bachelor's.
She has a PhD?
Yeah, they said that she has a PhD. I think it might be in psychology. I think she said she
has a bachelor's.
A bachelor's? I know. I think. Well, Brother Q Butter said that Cynthia had a PhD. So, and I've heard some other people saying that. So she might have one. If she does, I think it's because she has maybe a particular kind of book smart. But if you look at her life choices, I see her as having done some very dumb things, including what she did to get the child that she has. So her life, all this smarts, and that she's smarter than everybody, and she can define what a collective is, but no one else can. I don't see where she's actually very smart or intellectual at all. Her arguments are not sound at all. They can't be defended rationally. That's why she resorts to name calling and insulting them. And if she did get a PhD, and she did her oral defense, she couldn't have talked to her committee the same way she talks to her callers. So I don't get intelligence, especially even Kevin Samuels. I don't get intelligence or intellect from either one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know where other people, I think, again, people may be vulnerable. People may be in different places in their journey. And again, remember, if people can elocute and speak really well, they can convince people of things, especially if people don't have a broad enough of a range to be able to compare what they're saying and know what's missing and what they're not.
No, I'm not gonna go around insulting any of her followers' intelligence. I will say that I do think that she appeals to a certain group of women who are hurt, rightfully so. I will never take that from a lot. I will never take that someone's pain away from them. Like that, it's their pain, it's their trauma. It is what it is, right? But then when you get into the whole, okay, like let's go and let's abort black male children. What is that supposed to accomplish? I'm not. What's the end goal, basically? What are you trying to do? Because if you can't say, because Cynthia G literally will sit there and go on and on and on about how mixed people are not black. They are mixed. We are to identify as mixed. We are not to identify as black. Okay, fair game. All right, cool. So then you also contradicted yourself.
Can I read a quote really quick? I was looking for this quote while you were speaking. There's a quote from the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. It says here, hold fast to the ideal of a dignified Negro race. Let us work together as one people, whether we are octoroons, quadroons, mulattoes, or blacks, for the making of a nation of our own. For in that alone lies our racial salvation. Right. So, as a Garveyite, right, as somebody who reads and tries to implement many of the ideas, or modify and update many of the ideas that the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey has put forth, he was very clear on this concept of people and mixed race, and I think that a lot of people like to attribute things to Garvey that he never put forth. He understood um, complex, the very complex nature of being in the diaspora and having folks who have mixed ancestry, right? So this is a conversation that needs to be had probably like on a deeper level. But I think that once we try to go down a path of purity, which is what Garvey tried to like, he spoke about the concept of a spirit of purity, but he never talked about like the concept of like a racial purity, if that makes sense. And I don't know. I just feel like once we try to go down that path, it sets us up for failure, and it sets us up for like a balkanization of who we are as a people that can really just be used by our enemies to continue to divide, rule, and conquer us as a people. So I try to
I
stay
agree.
away from that for those reasons.
I agree. And I also try to promote that because I feel like, and I had gotten chewed. Listen, the girls ate me up one time because, I asked them an honest question that must have been too hard. And I asked them, like, people think that all of us come out looking a certain way, and that plays into white supremacy. Because I see your chat going crazy about white supremacy, this, white supremacy, that. But when you play into the notion that all mixed people look a certain way, that's playing into white supremacy, because there are plenty of black presenting mixed black people, right? So the reality is okay, go ahead. You're going to go divest with a white guy. What if your baby comes out looking like you? Then what? Well, then what are you going to do? And then I see people say things like, oh, well, if a mixed person is born to a black mother, then that means that they're not going to be self-hateful. Claro, que se dime, because I know plenty of people that was born to black mothers that say a lot of anti-black things because their mother instilled that anti-black stuff. Di que, oye, nena, you got that good hair. That's crap that I heard
Yeah,
from
no doubt. If
non-mixed
you
black women all my life.
if you check out the episode tomorrow, Black Men and the Negative Impacts of Low Racial Self-Esteem, we have a clip from Matthew Knowles, who was Beyonce's father, where he talks about when he was growing up, his mom kind of gave him a hiccup as it relates to dating black women. His mom would always say to him, "Don't you bring back no, nappy head, dark skinned girls to this house." So like that kind of like got into his mind that black was something that was not attractive and something that you shouldn't bring back. So, I mean, we've all internalized these different ideas. So it's not something that I seek to write off, because I know that it impacts our people psychologically, right? And from studying both sides of this argument, right, the woman's side and the man's side, one of the things I learned very early on, that there are great feelings of rejection and betrayal that fuel this continued war, right? There are
Yes.
women who feel like they have been betrayed by black men, and that black men continually reject them and tell them that they are not wanted. And I think that you can nurture that resentment, and it can turn into hate. And once hate turns into a feeling of betrayal, it's like a rage or an inferno that can't be turned off. And it's the same thing on the other side. I listen to some of the black men that are speaking, and they say like they feel like betrayed, like they feel hurt. And that's why like I try to like uplift like the work of scholars who are doing work like Dr. Tommy Curry, because one of the things he's currently doing is giving voice to what has gone unspoken for such a very long time. Black men who've been victims of molestation and sexual assault from like older women, and like the impacts that has had on their lives. So I got a lot of so anybody in the back chat, if this is your first time pulling up, you got to hit your camera just so I know who you are. I know Sister AV, Sister Pro Woman, they've been very active in the chat. But if you just pulling up,
I would come on, but I'm like getting ready to go to bed. And
no, it's all love. I saw Sister Katie J. Sister Katie J.
I'll come on.
No, it's all. Listen, did you ever get my DM? I sent you a DM asking you for some advice because I remember the very first time that you pulled up, you gave me some amazing advice for like just being a content creator and doing this work. So I sent you a DM on Instagram. I know you don't really post on your IG, but I did send you a DM just to ask for some advice.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go look. What was the advice? What did I? That was so enlightening. And how did that?
It was when I was having a conversation about the Kevin Samuels situation, and you talked about him benefiting off of like a second mover situation or whatnot, and you know, that was that. Marcus Garvey or Taz, my brother, I'm not gonna bring you on because I don't wanna devolve my conversation. I do see you in the back chat. But I'm not gonna
if Taz would like to come up, if he could just be calm, no argument, just straight conversation.
That's the thing. I don't think he has the capability of doing that. And
he does. If he chooses to do it, he can.
Yeah.
I think it would be something worthwhile, a worthwhile exchange for the benefit of the audience if Taz just conversation, no name calling, no arguing.
Yeah.
Just a healthy exchange.
What's going on, Black Magus?
A BB Fahudia, brother.
Oh, BB Fahudia, King. What's going on with you?
Hey, brother. I don't get a chance to watch your lives that often, but I do catch the archives. I actually got put on to you through Sister Keisha. So
okay. From Thorough Black Thought?
Yes. So I've been watching. That's my sister, man. That's my sister, man. Hey, so I'm actually on the plantation right now, so I can't talk long. But you know, I'm watching in the comments and stuff like that, and just watching the mentality of people. And I don't think our people really understand that until you get rid of that white idolatry, you're gonna have these issues with our people, just hands down, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't go towards our African way of thinking, which granted, I understand that everyone's not going to have that mindset. No one's going to be all Pan-Africanist. We understand that. You know, some people want to be Black, some people want to be Black Americans, some people want to be indigenous peoples of this land and all this other stuff, all these different sects. And we having tribalism here in the hills of North America. And it's supposed to be, I thought you were just, African American. So it's like we just continuously bringing up different sects to join and to basically separate other Black people from Black people, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I just really wanted to get on here, brother, and wish you well in your podcast and your streams and stuff like that. I'm loving everything that you're doing. You ain't done nothing wrong. Hey, just keep up the good work, bro.
Yo, I appreciate that, bro. And we're gonna try to keep doing that. I mean, we're not really moving off our ground. We standing on our square. We was always very clear what the mandate was, right? Baba Baruti has a saying. He says, teach the ignorant and ignore stupidity.
Yes.
Right. So like stupidity it just is what it is, but you got to know, who to ignore and who to focus on.
Correct.
The message can't get derailed, you know what I mean? So one thing you're never going to see over here, and I can promise you this, you're never going to see me off my square. You're never going to see me over here getting emotional or none of that. I told folks from the very beginning that, as a student of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he set out the mandate that when he wanted to do the work, he knew that he needed a medium, a vehicle by which he could express his analysis and speak to the people. And for him, during his time, that was the Negro World paper. During our time, people ain't reading the papers. So you got to have a way to reach the people, to do analysis and to communicate what you got going on. So in that way, I do use social media, YouTube, but I always try to make it very clear that social media is not the work. The work is happening in our communities, and the work is only happening through organization. So I'm going to look at the camera. We're going to say, if you are not a part of an organization, join one. If you can't find one that speaks to you, then create one. But the only way that we build power and the only way we build institutions in any systematic form or way is through organization, organization, and organization. So, my brother, I appreciate you being here tonight.
Hey, brother, I got one thing to say.
Yes, sir.
Real quick to what you just said. If you're going to say that, then you know you're going to have to do a podcast on organizing and how to do it, because a lot of people do not understand that. They don't know how to do it. And hey, we have to be able to bridge that gap in between that Pan-African way of thinking and, you know, just the street mentality, which a lot of us come from the streets. So we know how to organize, but we don't know how to organize in a productive way.
Absolutely. So if you look at the Patreon, my Patreon community is known as the African War College. So I have people who reach out to me. For an example, one of the followers wants me to one of the supporters wants me to do something around the lines of Black love and intimacy, because we talk a lot about what's wrong, but we need to also focus our energy on the love and the healing. So next Sunday, I have a husband and wife coming for my Omowale After Dark. I'm gonna give them the ground, and they're going to talk about Black intimacy and Black love as a revolutionary force. That'll be next Sunday. During the month of November, not only do I have interviews and one-on-one like lectures of people who I respect coming to teach, I'm also going to put together a symposium of Black people who are doing work around educating our children, whether it's homeschooling or in these spaces that are colonized spaces. So whenever somebody gives an idea like that, I know some great organizers. I organize myself, but I have organizers that I look up to and that I ask questions. So I'll try to bring on a symposium maybe for December that's focused on organizing to teach people how to do it, what it looks like, and how to meet the challenges of being an organizer. So I'll definitely do that. You got my word.
All right, brother. Peace. Hotel.
I appreciate you. I'll be before Houdier.
Be before Houdier.
All right, family. We are at the midnight hour. Sister Pro Woman, I really appreciate you coming through and dropping your wisdom. Every time you come through the platform, you really do bless us. So I thank you for your just continued support and just being here. Family, if y'all here for the first time, hit the like button. Please share the content. Please do subscribe. We here every Monday. We have Manhood Mondays from 8:30 p.m. Well, it starts at 8:30 with the Race, Manhood, and Power podcast. And immediately following that, we have office hours with Professor Omowale. So y'all can always come tap in for that. Sundays, we have Omowale After Dark. And we have other content that we drop on the channel. So y'all always welcome to come through and pull up. But I'm about to close out because we are at 12 o'clock midnight. And I got some other things I got to get done before the morning gets here. But I appreciate everybody.
Appreciate you, Omowale. You definitely appreciate it. Very much needed, and definitely appreciate it. We don't give people like you flowers enough. So let me just give you some now, the people in the chat, but definitely you are appreciated. This offering is very much needed. Appreciate it. And welcome. Nobody running from a fight. They're saying, let Taz up. I'm scared. I have no problem. There's really no debating these people. If somebody wants to converse with me on a neutral platform, I'm all for that. I ain't scared of nobody. I'm not running from no fights, nowhere, no how. Nyla, like I told Nyla on Q Butter's panel, she likes to do all that cursing out and insults and name calling because she doesn't want to do any real work. So I can cut them up and clap back with the best of them. Nobody's scared, nobody running. I will be happy to converse with any of them, anytime, anywhere, all of them, all by myself on a neutral platform, starting with the very first question, what have you done and what are you doing? Focus on them. Stop pointing fingers and look in the mirror and look at them. And what is it that they've done that has led to the problems that they're having with Black men or Black women? And what are their contributions to Black people above and beyond the criticisms that they make? That's the first question. So name the time, the place, the platform, and I'm there. Nobody's scared. Nobody's scared of Taz. Nobody's scared of Nyla, Cynthia. None of them. I'll take all of them on. I did before. So thank you, Omowale. You're very much appreciated. this offering is very much needed and welcome. Thank you.
All right. Hold on. I appreciate you, Sister Pro Woman. We're gonna get back at you, Sister AY. You've been killing it all night. Shout out to the 16 trolls. Y'all are exhausting. Yo, this was a good one tonight. We appreciate everybody for pulling up, even the haters. Malcolm, Malcolm used to say before he started all of his speeches, he used to say, greetings to friends. I'm losing. And he say friends, and he say and enemies. And he say, you better believe you got some enemies. So that is what it is. It kind of comes with the territory. No complaints. But I'm gonna close out again with my guy OG Black. His birthday was last week. He just turned 33. Y'all pull up tomorrow at 8:30 for episode 9 of the Race, Manhood, and Power podcast. I'm gonna play this music and then we tapping out. Everybody that came out tonight, appreciate y'all. That's it. It's me right here on the front of this track right here. Shout out my guy
Y'all don't
OG
see
Black.
them scars on our backs, left by whips, bullet holes, and stab wounds. It's like we got the whole world on our shoulders. But watch how we carry it.
Get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn, can a black man make it? Right. I got a family to feed. Still hungry, so you feeling like you underachieved. I'm a god on my feet, I never bend at the knees. I stand tall, break bread with my kings. It's the knowledge we bring. Born leaders, we acquiring goals, acquiring land. Until the day we lie in that hole, I own your plans. Don't let them take that fire out your soul. Fuck these niggas, go get what you owe. You know these streets can get cold. A wise man said you reap what you sow. I'm sowing them seeds to make sure my family succeed. From the bottom where it's trifling, and niggas wanna fight with it, and crackers try to stifle it. But still I'm on enlightenment. Now watch I sneak my rifle in. Malcolm in the window.
Shout out to my brother. Shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat, fam.
Fuck him though, I'm getting mine. Posted at the motherfucking finish line. Bitch. Get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn. Can a black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn. Can a black man make it?
Can a black man make it, nigga? I ain't got a choice. I've been winning for a minute, now it's time I use my voice. We've been down in every way, but we still had the lead. Our families that try to keep the world up the speed of the fuckery that brings generations of disease. Depression and the spilling of the same blood I bleed. Try to tighten up the chains and tell me that I was free. So I stand through it all, cause I do this for my seeds. Yeah, that system top notch to trap us in this box, but the evolution of the black man can't be stopped. Check your time, watch, we rise again and again to battle every demon so our kids don't reap the sin, and find a peace of mind to keep our ass up out the pen, to go to sleep so we can wake up and do it again. Resilience is the key, the shit is deeper than a check. We won 100 times, say our name with respect, nigga.
Get his money without being hated. Can he stand up and lead the nation without the whole world trying to take it? Damn.
Can a black man make it?
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 Without the whole world trying to take it? Damn. Can a black man make it?
Can a black man make it? That's my guy, OG Black. It's my guy. Oh, Fatty Black, the song ain't dropped yet. That's a I only got it because I was on the intro, but the album coming soon. It's being mixed. As soon as the album come, I'm gonna be blessing y'all with mad tracks off the album. Listen, if you pulled up tonight, peace, love, all that good stuff. That's it, man. We tapping out. I appreciate y'all for being here for another Omowale After Dark. Make sure y'all circle back again tomorrow. It's a Manhood Monday. We got Race, Manhood, and Power podcast at 8:30. Then on Tuesday, I got an interview with Sister Shay Charday. It's an honest critique of the Black Manosphere. Then on Wednesday, I'm on a panel with Q Butter, Dr. Ma'at, and another sister who does a vegan and wellness thing. The panel is called Think Beyond Black. And then I just got like a ton of content. Y'all is not going to want to miss what we got coming down the pike for November. So if you're here, shout out to you. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.